This is the I Know Podcast where we're all about healthy debate, honest conversation, and talking beer junk. Information, knowledge, observation. Man, that drink is good. This is the I Know Podcast. I-N-O, information, knowledge, observation. Also, I know nothing. We got a man like Kofi.
Yep.
We got Mosey. We got Josh for the first time in the studio ever.
Hey.
We got Nayasha in the building. I'm Marcus Myers. And then we have our guest that I ain't gonna introduce right now. Okay. So, I'm letting everybody know from now, this is a disclaimer. If you do not like unpopular views about race, this is not the episode for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We have other episodes that you're probably gonna enjoy coming on later. But the reality is, this is saying that you may not hear these views all the time. If not coming from Rex, coming from me, or somebody in the room, but we can discuss them. But I feel like we are at a point now where like the ability to have a conversation where you're not really agreeing at first, you can't even have that anymore, right? It's like, I start a rant.
Monologue your night show.
I feel like social media facilitates an environment, right, where you argue a lot, but you're arguing with people on the same side about what you think the other side is saying. It's don't be arguing to them, is be arguing about what they're saying. And it creates this echo chamber and thing. And one of the things that's being lost nowadays is civil discourse. And the minute that civil discourse is at risk, civilization is at risk. I mean, that's just standard. I mean, I know that it may sound like very like grandiose and thing, but the reality is the foundation of any functional society is the ability to speak freely, speak dispassionately about your opinions, etc. But that being said, anyway, I'm done with that.
I did not know our guest falling like a hat. That was what I mean. Jesus, whatever, man.
Everything but the tears.
We've had conversations on this podcast about race before. Little did the black community know that we had a man on the inside. We had a man.
Wait, you talking about me?
We had a man, right? Who, if you ever ask a white person in Barbados if they have black friends and they say yeah, they mean him.
No. I'm one of four.
One of four. And some of his opinions are
Polarizing,
but some have nuggets that, you can take away. So we're gonna find out some things, right? We got Rexism in the building. Big up Rex.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's your word, sir?
You got me on the spot here right now because I really don't know what I'm saying. This is so weird, like talking to the camera. But nah, man, I'm here to have the discussion. I don't know how to start the discussion because obviously it really always stems from like Twitter and social media where somebody has something to say, and I would always look at it and say, well, maybe you should be thinking about this way, this or that way, But you're right, what you said earlier. Everybody's struggling to see who could be the most left. And who can prove it? Who can show that they have as much knowledge as possible?
Yeah.
And
like the strongest social justice warrior.
What's the term when like they switch the argument just to show how much knowledge that they have? Like it's not the basis of the argument. Anyway, I was looking at all the like, straw man and all that.
Right.
Because this guy hit me with saying, I was like, what's straw man? And he must have said like 4 times. Like, okay, maybe I should go research this. So I did, and I can't tell you what this is now for life for me because that camera's rolling. But
right, but okay. The reason why you're here and the reason why we're having another race conversation is because of all the things that happened in the last 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. This would have stemmed off of, we saw the death of George Floyd, which happened in America, which sparked a lot of civil activism in Barbados and in America and across the world, really. I started a lot of race conversations. And you have an interesting perspective because you are mixed race. Mixed being Chinese and Indian.
Chinese,
right?
Indian, and black, yeah.
Chinese, Indian, and black.
But confused for half white my whole life.
Very confusing.
Until now, when I started going to bear that people was like, oh yeah, I can see the Indian now.
So in a way, you and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying this wrong, but from how it was explained to me, it appears as though sometimes you are too white for black people in Barbados and too black for white people in Barbados. So then you fall into a category of either neither and both. That's correct?
Neither and both, but never at the same time.
Right. Right.
Well, to the same person.
Right.
It could happen at the exact same time. I could be in a party. You could be on one side. Remember Kelso Taylor's party? Let me not call names out here. But that party was odd, man. Like, we went there.
There's a man named Kelso.
No, that is a character.
Nah, he's not a white man. He's not a white man, B. What?
That's a character from That 70s Show.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, let's just call the man Mr. X because I don't want, like, obviously, I don't know. But anyway, so we go to the party and you were there? Josh, you were there though.
I was there.
So when you get in there, right, like it was all like the mixed people, like in the I don't know area right before the front door. All the white people were in the house and the black people were on the lawn. It was real.
That sounds very familiar.
It was real.
I read about that somewhere.
You went Dayton, so like he had all those kind of
This is
friends. And like that's just like, you know, that's self-imposed segregation though. That's just something that people love to do here. Is it makes people that tend to like, you know, jump around.
Yeah, but why
it's
we
where you
take
get
it long,
excited.
though?
Yeah, I kind of move away from your point in terms of when you're saying both but neither, and sometimes what was it you said?
I said neither or both.
Or both.
Right. You fall into neither of the communities that you
Right.
connect with, and it's you find yourself connecting with both.
Connecting with both, 100%.
I want to start from, I guess, from not the beginning, but being mixed in Barbados. You could explain what that was like growing up, you know, in that kind of regard of both communities looking at you
Well,
way.
okay, so when you say growing up, like obviously, for me, I was just telling you, I went to Charles Ep Room. So I didn't really encounter white people until I went to QC. When I was at Charles Ep Room, I didn't really notice that. It's only looking back on it did I realize that I was treated a little bit differently. Because I was the mischievous one, you know, I was the one that used to get away with everything, like, you know. But I didn't know that it was because there's a little red man and everybody loved a little red man being mischievous because, like, he could do whatever he wants because, you know, color of his skin.
So.
You know, they just treat you a little bit differently. They I don't know, they expect more but less from you at the same time. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like I can be the person, because, okay, you know, like way back in the day they would say, okay, well, he's the latest one, let's give him the education. Like, let's say you had a family or whatever. You had a whole bunch of people, the guy was too dark. You had a full range of people. One was a throwback, that come out a little red. That was the one most likely to succeed in life. So when you had me and Charles Ep Room, obviously that was a school right next to the Ivy, they did have some, you know, like uppity, I don't know if uppity is like a word you don't say anymore, but some, you know, upper
Who
class.
knows what you can say anymore?
Upper class,
Yeah, right.
upper class, you know, people. But majority of people were from the area. But it was still a good school. But again, like I didn't know that I was mixed. I didn't even know I was mixed. I didn't know anything about myself. I never even thought about it. Like, you know, you go home, you watch TV. You know, you don't even notice the color of people's skin or whatever.
Yeah.
We had, in my class, actually, we did have Leslie Chapman Andrews. Should not call people's names, but she was in my class. I pointed at Mosita like a fucking... Sorry about that, B. Sorry about that.
Yo.
She was in my class, and like she was the only other mixed person in the entire year.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, like my brothers when they school me, and they're mixed,
Oh,
but
okay.
like obviously they were treated a lot differently. But we'll get to that. But yeah, so we came up, whatever, and like everybody was always like, oh yeah, you guys should be like, you know, like Barbie and Ken kind of thing, because like we were the whitest people in the class.
Right.
No, we did have a white girl actually. I just remembered. A man in makeup.
I'm just calling these names.
In your little recollection there, you refer to the concept of they a lot. You always say they expect different of me.
Are you trying to call me a racist or something?
No.
Not yet.
I'm just curious. Not yet. I'm just curious to know who they is. Like when you say they, who you refer?
I'm talking about
Who expect
Barbados.
different, who expect
I'm talking about Barbados. From my limited understanding of what Barbados was at that time, they is Barbados.
Okay.
Not just the school, because obviously like I did have, you know, the latent functions that any little kid would go through, and I would meet up with, you know, swimming people and that kind of stuff. But I was in heat wave, and that's another thing. You swam?
Nah.
You swam? None of you swam.
Nah.
Again, that was a bougie people thing maybe, but I was in heat wave, which was like, you know, you had like pirates and dolphins, and it was all the white people, and
Right.
I was in heat wave, which is apparently for black people. So
It's really interesting chat as well.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time because like I just swam with black people. I didn't know that there was like mixed kids doing this shit.
Safe. But specifically, at what point did you realize that you will be excluded from some groups?
Oh, the first day at Queen's College.
Okay, let's get into
First day at Queen's College, because obviously like I arrived at Queen's College. I had all my black friends. Like I mentioned, Terry Went. He used to be a good friend. Again, names. But yeah, so I had my black friends. I had my black friends from school. Very few, but mostly girls, right? Went to QC because obviously for some reason girls wanted to go to QC. And most of my male friends went to Harrison College, right? So like I was there starting fresh. I need to say, you know, like starting fresh or whatever. And I remember lunchtime came around, and I had a packed lunch. And funny enough, people were talking about this like yesterday on Twitter. I don't know if you saw. Like this girl was talking about how her parents gave her $20 a day to go to school. Like every day, their parents will put $20. So fucking
A week? $100 a
Oh,
week?
you have
No,
$100
$100. Yeah, $100 a week. Sorry for my poor math.
D, so $400 a month?
My man.
Yeah. Madness.
I would have never eaten meat.
So I come through there, first day of school, with my little lunchbox, pot lunch that my mother made for me. So obviously, like, I'm looking for a place to sit and have my lunch. And I realize all the white people are just sitting on right there in a row outside the classroom, sitting there to have their lunch. And I go sit down with them, and they're like,
What is this?
you can see their eyes, and their eyes are like, who's this nigga? And I'm just like, all right, let me go back in the class and sit down. And then like for some reason, like most of the black kids, I don't know how you want me to describe them because anyway, most of the black kids like were buying lunch, right? So then when they came back and I'm just sitting down there, like I just felt out of place because everybody had like their bought lunch and I'm just sitting down there, you know, eating out of my lunch box like a nerd at that time. And I just felt weird and like I didn't feel accepted by them either. They weren't verbal about it, and neither were the white people, but they gave me like a look. And like those looks were enough to be like, oh shit, where do I belong? Because like obviously like you come in, and you have to stand up and like introduce yourself. Like I say my name or whatever. Like that's normal. Like I'm not thinking too deep into whether or not I'm gonna make friends because my whole life it was always easy. Like I was a red man or whatever,
Right.
and I was making friends. But now, first day of school, that's how I realized I was black. I know. Sorry.
No, this may sound like a non-important question, but did you have that one weight lunchbox? Because you just press it button and reveal the top.
Hold on.
I mean the one that I had,
I explain better.
There's this lunchbox right that.
Triangle the top.
Yeah, a triangle top. You press the button. I'm being very serious, but
Oh,
you press the button.
yeah. You
have
mean
one of
it
those,
peels
right?
back? Yeah, and it opens up. No, I didn't have one of those.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, right? But I swear to God, that was the white lunchbox. So like I could understand why not understand, because I'm not siding with it. But if someone at 11 saw you and they just buy them lunch and see you with this white person lunchbox, thinking, well, why is the white kid in here?
Yeah.
So I just trying to understand
fair
scenario.
enough. But
Yeah.
you see, the first day of school was the only day that the white people ate lunch by the classroom. After that, they had their little nooks that far off all over the school. Like it became beset, and every year had a place for the white girls and white boys. So every year was like, okay, maybe like 2 or 3 years might join together every now and again. So like first and second formers and third and fourth formers and fifth and sixth formers might just think. So in first form it was the science block. Because in the end I didn't end up hanging out with white people. Right? But that was just because it was easier to infiltrate 10 people than how many people at QC. Like obviously majority of them are black, but it was like maybe 10 white boys in the entire year. So like it was easier to infiltrate them than everybody just like, oh, Rex and anything.
Okay, explain that, please. I need that. I need a bit more. When you say infiltrate, what do you mean? Do you mean it's
okay?
easier?
Kofi will remember the story, right? I know because it was something that people used to talk about at QC. So I've said got a lot of QC stories because it wasn't a good time for me. But the white boys were mischievous, and I used to play around with them. We used to do stupid things, and it was a thing we used to go around to the back of the school. It was the lowest place you could jump off the second story balcony and land on the grass. So we used to do this like every morning. We used to go out there and just like jump off.
I forgot what that be.
We were so bored, and then like one day like I'm chilling with D Block. What up guys? And like I don't chill with these guys all the time, right? And like I'm like Zach is my boy. I keep calling this, but one of my friends is, like he's in with these people like and Kareem, and these are my friends, and even Kofi. Anyway, they're in with them, right? And I think it was like, one of the boys inside the school was inside D Block. Maybe the de facto leader was like, jump over this balcony if you want to be in D Block. And in my mind, it was like,
D block.
I do this every morning. Like, this ain't nothing. So I jump over the balcony. And then from there, they were always like, oh, this man jumping the balcony just to be in D Block. I'm like, what? Like, this is normal. This is something that I did every single day with the white boys. That was nothing. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like, because they put their own spin on it. But again, like, there's just acceptance. Because from the beginning, I was not accepted by them.
Right.
Right? And don't get me wrong, like, I turned into a little white boy at a time. But anyway, what was the question again? 4 straight too far? You didn't ask the question. He asked the question. You asked the question.
Josh 100% asked the question.
What was the question?
Who was there?
That was literally
We're going past that. Sorry, B. I just making sure. Anyway.
One of the things I hear about you, Rex, is that although you can be a part of both communities, that you as you said, you infiltrated, like you went towards your white community more.
No,
That-
initially.
Initially, that's what you said initially. But I hear that all now. That
No.
you more gravitate towards that side.
So this is what happened because, for me to tell this story, like it's hard to like exclude the fact that my mother's a politician, because I did have a huge part to play with why I started hanging out with white people more. Because there was a point where I stopped hanging out with the white people, because I'll tell you exactly why. And anybody that knows QC, St. Michael's, Lodge, Dighton, and you know what a Joyanne is, fuck you. If you started that word, fuck you, because that ruined my whole life, bro.
Yeah, okay, we can get to that immediately. Right.
But what was the question again?
Right. What is it that made you want to infiltrate?
Oh no. So the reason that because obviously, like I said, my mom's a politician, right? Bajans have this mentality that if they want something, a politician should give it to them, because if that's just the way it is.
Right.
So like, it would just happen that I would go with like my black friends, but to black places, not black places, because no place is inherently black. Let's get something straight. But to places that black people hang out, and it wouldn't be the people that I know. It would be the periphery of people that are adjacent to the people that I would be hanging out with, that would start asking me for stuff. But then I'm hanging with white people. People had no idea who I was.
Interesting.
So like nothing. When I hung with the white people, nothing was getting back to my parents. Remember, I'm like 16 years old. And I want to explore life. I want to live my life.
Right.
I hang with white people. My parents don't know no white people. My dad's Jamaican. My mom is a half Trini Bajan, raised by a Trini in Barbados. So she don't really know white people either. She know people from Foreign Road and people adjacent to those people. But so like nothing was getting back to my parents hanging with white people. So like, why not? Like it was just easier.
So the black people kind of saw you as not a meal ticket, but like a way, like.
But exactly that.
They only see you as the son of.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But like that doesn't have anything to do with race.
Right. But at
the same time it does. But that's like systematic.
Was that
because
was that because they knew who your parents were?
Yeah. White people didn't, because white people don't think about these modern things.
I'm saying if it was more your demeanor, cause like I don't know.
How you
Like,
know
your demeanor, like you don't carry yourself like a poor black man. Like be real. So, but
a poor black man carry himself like
a poor black man.
But what does that mean?
Now, what does that mean? Because
okay, well let me explain that. If you do not look like you struggle in life.
I hear what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying.
I don't know how that came across, but you don't look like you struggle.
Okay.
So you do not carry yourself like you struggle. You do not go to places that cheap, for lack of a better word.
That's a lie. I go to the cheapest places. I go. Why do you go Mojo's on Thursday? $3 rums.
No, let me tell you something, right? Well, no. I don't mean cheap. I don't mean cheap. It does. I don't mean cheap as in the drink price is cheap, you know. I mean the look of Mojo's crowd, Mojo's atmosphere is not cheap. None of that feels cheap. When I say cheap, I mean you are not at called the penthouse 2.0, dog.
What's that?
Exactly. You are not at places that. You know me. You ain't not.
Penthouse 1.0.
That is a literal. I don't know. I actually don't know. It's a literal. I don't even think a penthouse open. It's a place you literally saw dubs at. So you ain't not.
But I'll push back at that stereotypical like poor black man. Like, how do you know what a poor black man can?
You don't, because I'm not saying that a poor black man cannot go to Mojo's and enjoy his night. Of course he can. I am saying.
But would he?
Yes.
No, probably not.
What are you talking about? It's Century Love Rama Coast.
It's not about just it's me, but people. I don't go to Mojo's. I go to Mojo's because the drinks are cheap. But I go to Mojo's because I know I go to by myself a lot, because I know the people are going to be there, and I know I can have a conversation with these people because a lot of them are on my level. The same. I'm to your point. They're on my level in terms of intellectually, in terms of like similar backgrounds, economically, in terms of social status, in terms of all these things. They are very similar.
Still go there and have a conversation.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not saying
100%,
so. I don't think he'll go there and be ostracized.
No, of course not. But
I don't think Mojo's is on that list of.
But okay, so places like Harbor Lights exacerbate that problem,
right?
Because Harbor Lights is not inherently racist. They're not going to tell you, hey, you can't come in because you're a black person. I go on Harbor Lights all the time. Please don't kick me out. Like, I'm not going to say nothing bad. But
is it membership? No, are you joking?
Yeah, it is. It's always been membership. But no, but it's a thing. Anyway, but you know, like you've been to Harbor Lights, right? No. It's not racist. It's just if you keep going, like they offer you membership or whatever, just as a discount to incentivize you.
Oh,
to continue
okay.
coming.
The whole reggae lounge used to do.
It's not something you apply for. It's something that they give you after seeing you for X amount of time.
Right.
But
I miss regular lounge.
Yeah, you miss regular lounge too.
Like the original.
But when you used to go, you've been to Harbor Lights. You've been to Harbor Lights.
No.
You never been to Harbor Lights?
No.
Okay.
I find that hard to believe.
I find that so hard to believe. But
I've
like,
never been.
it's one
I
of the
swear
cheapest
to
places
God.
in Barbados you could drink. But you go into Hard Place and you see, like, racism. Like you can actually see it. Not racism in the effects of racism, but racism in terms of the mentality. Because you'll see all the white people chilling, you'll see all the black people in one corner. The 10 of them that came in that night, because there's never too many black people, stand up in the exact same corner over the speakers, and just waiting for somebody to interact with them. And they don't like get out of their comfort zone to talk to these people, because obviously in their mind this is the white people place. You know what I mean? So they're not going out of their way to like interact with white people. They're here to have a good time. And until this is before like the music starts and before like people start actually having a party. This is like, you know, the line before the party,
Right.
inside the club.
I actually have no idea what you mean, but continue.
But you know, nah, it happens anywhere you go. Like anywhere you go before
the music starts?
the music has started, but before the big DJ comes.
Oh,
before
yeah, I know for it.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I know for it.
So in
I
that
thought you meant
moment-
like music was off.
Nah,
I'm
no, the
confused.
music is on, but like people chilling.
Yeah, I got you,
And they're in that corner, and it takes the music to bring them together. But even still, there's the home base is still over there.
Still separation.
You know, like integration is a hard thing. So like that's a weird topic to get into. And yeah, I feel like
So wait, can I challenge that? Could it just be because they're just with the people that they know, as opposed to they're separated because of
Same thing though.
No,
Is it
that's
separated
exactly- no,
because
that's exactly
of
right.
race or because of just I know who you are?
but isn't that the same thing?
His race.
Like,
Huh?
Exactly.
That's
exactly
everyone
exactly what it is.
it's strange to me if everyone that you know just happens to be the same color as you.
That's not strange to me at all. The only
Not
white
for
people-
black
I only have
people.
one white friend.
Not for black
No,
people.
well, yeah, not for black people, but
For white people.
I think if white people live in a predominantly black country and your friends group is 99% white, or for lack of a better, 100% white, at some point I think that's a conscious effort.
right.
You see,
But wait,
that's a hard thing.
they have shared experiences though, not so.
Not every white person has the same experience.
Not
I
the
think.
same experience, but there's shared experiences that white people have, right? For
Okay,
example,
let
if you're
me-
part of a minority that is like say like 5% or 10% of the population, you would have just because of knowing people from history, from family, friends, etc. You will be more close knit.
Here's what I'm saying, right? I don't think that anything is wrong with having 75% of your friends be white if you're white, because really and truly, as you said, that happens as a true thing. But if you go in school in Barbados, you went to school, again, just make it more modern, Providence, you went Providence Secondary School, you went UB for whatever reason.
you ain't going to Providence and UWE. I can almost guarantee
Richard,
that.
yeah, that was it for whatever reason. That was it for whatever reason.
Right.
Are you working in Barbados or whatever, you will cross paths with a black person. Now, for you to cross paths with all of these different walks of life of people, you going out and you're just meeting people, and at the end of the day, your core group, you are 100% always seen with only white people. That's strange to me that no black person never tickle you in such a way that you like, let me talk on Instagram, let me go out for drinks or nothing. So
I do
Hold
agree.
on, but does
does
that even happen with black people?
I mean,
that what?
Do you guys let people in your friends group just say that?
First of all, you guys.
I think
I mean, literally, you and Kofi. You and
Yeah, listen.
You know what I mean?
You guys
Like,
right.
okay, so for instance, like you might have a one person that you met or whatever. Like that doesn't mean you're gonna continue seeing that person.
at 28, no.
Right.
But show me at
15.
19, yeah, probably. B. You used to just go home, not go home, people. I mean, like, you used to meet friends easily.
Yeah.
So okay, so
I know.
okay,
Horrifies me.
so basically from what you said, like in Harbor Lights, the way that the culture is, it kind of represents the white culture on a whole in respect to how they treat black people in terms of being separated, etc. You would say so?
Again, and when it comes to Harbor Lights, it's not the white people are the people at home. They don't care. It's fine. It's the black people that come in there that, you know, they feel away because they're in the white person's house essentially. And they're like, let me not misstep. Let me just, you know, keep to myself and not cause no trouble. Is how they feel.
Also, the separation is
So
more
you-
based on the
No, again, it is in the black person's mind, but it's there for a reason. And I know that it exists for a reason. I know that if that certain people in Barbados would not go to Harbor Lights if Harbor Lights was majority black. Harbor Lights would not be Harbor Lights if it was majority black. And I don't think anybody can wrong me for that statement because I like it is what it is. Like white people go where white people feel more comfortable. If you understand what I mean. Like so for instance, to go to I don't remember whose point. But so I went to a couple of weddings. I have a bunch of white friends. And I'm always one of like 3 or 4 black people there. And I'm talking about weddings of like 200 people. And I would not say that.
Yeah, there's over 200 white people in Barbados.
Also, again, white people. Because
How many you might have?
how many people are white and how many people are actually white are Like, two different things.
That's interesting. That you was so.
No, because in Barbados, what we call a white person is not necessarily a white person.
You're correct.
If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, so you go to these weddings and you see these people, and I'm always a similar face at most of these weddings because I'm the accepted black person. You black person with the accepted white card.
You talking
black
here.
card. But
That's interesting.
I don't know, man.
They kind of choose you to be part of the group, but it's
No,
not.
no. It's time and proximity, right? It's not like I just. There's so many layers to this, but all right. So for instance, if you want to mess with a white girl, a Bajan, not like any white girl, a Bajan white girl, you gotta get co-signed by her friends, right? You can't just go straight in and be like, hey, I like you, kind of thing. She can be like, wait, who the fuck is this guy? Like, take your time. And then she'll ask around. She'll ask around. So she doesn't know anything about you. Her friends don't know anything about you. She's not touching you, right? Because Bajans, in general, white people more so than anybody, are pretty cliquey. And I'm not like trying to shit on white people right now, but they are cliquey, and they always have been, even from secondary school.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They stick together.
And do you think? And going back to what you originally said, the cliquey kind of vibe stems from racism.
Yes, but it's not like it's not a conscious effort. Again, to whoever's point it was, they were saying that what happens is all the functions outside of schooling, outside of the individual. They come into a family. You live in Fort George. You have your aunties and uncles. Everybody, all the white people in Barbados related anyway. So everybody's auntie and uncle this and
So interbreeding.
neighbor
You're saying
and
they're
this.
interbreeding.
Yes,
I don't know, wait, right? But equating this to Harry Potter's got pure bloods.
but that's exactly what that's
That's
about.
what it is.
That's exactly what it's about.
Right. Harry Potter is
But
based
no,
on a
like
true story.
I remember the first time I went to a white person thing, like and everybody's like auntie, uncle. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to call this person? Because
Right.
like everybody else there is calling them auntie, uncle, but like I have no affiliation to you, woman. Like what?
Right.
What's your first name?
Carrie.
So go back to the go back to the co-signing of friends. So basically,
Oh yeah. You gotta get co-signed. That's how it
And when you
goes.
say co-sign, it's like they have to know who you are, and then they approve you, and then
Okay,
she will
all
give
right,
you a chance.
let me. It's white people. It's white girls and white boys. So, but it really stems from like maybe their parents. I don't know exactly where it stems from, but any person that doesn't have any value, that doesn't have any obvious value, is afraid of this question. Even if you're white or black, you go into a white household, and the first question they're gonna ask you if they don't know you, who's your father?
Really?
It happens.
Every
He's right.
single fucking time. Who is your father? I'm like, my father got the same name as me, and if you don't know me, then you don't know my fucking father. What?
Right.
Like, why is that necessary? Like, why are the merits of my fucking family relevant to whether or not you're gonna talk to
Because
me?
they want to know who you are.
Exactly. Luckily, after a time, my mom was in government, so everybody was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Right. And your
So
name
I got
is so
that
distinct.
exactly. I had the same
after
name,
a
so
while, yeah,
I got the co-sign over time. If my mom was not in politics, who knows? Who knows? Like, if
That's
people would have
interesting.
talked to me.
He's not wrong.
That's the first question they ask. So it's all about what is your relevance to the community, and what is in terms of proximity to
ownership.
other people and wealth ownership and all that kind of stuff.
When you say community, you mean the white community?
Yeah,
or-
yeah,
okay.
white community, of course.
So,
So
do
I-
you think that when they ask that question, they're thinking they benefit the white community? Because I'm thinking, like, if someone brings home, I don't know, I can be real, my grandmother does ask that question.
What?
Who your father is, who's your mother, or whatever.
No. But that question is so different.
Right, that's
Like,
what I'm saying. The tone is very different. You're
yeah.
gonna tell me so, because I know my grandmother just curious. as to who
Right,
you are.
it's
You
more
know if you know
maliciousness.
the
Right, that's no a different thing.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is it to benefit the community? Like, I don't want no dirty jeans in my pool, or is it more like
Dirty jeans because black people wear jeans to the pool? Is that what you're trying to say?
that was a good one. I meant more like
There's layers to that, by the way.
yeah, I meant more like you just don't want your daughter mixing it with somebody that can't provide for them or something like that.
I can tell you what they're thinking. I'm not
Right. I
in their
feel
head.
like I get what you're saying, but I kind of feel like community thing is a stretch. I don't know if I don't know, but I find it hard to believe that white people like studying the white community that strong.
What? What?
I don't know.
Bro, every single every single one of my white friends like has somebody racist very connected to them. And they
Really?
like their grandfather, their grandmother, their great uncle, somebody is super fucking racist.
Seriously?
Right now, yeah. You
Very
forget
understandable.
Yacht
Yeah,
Club.
I can see that.
You remember Yacht Club? Like y'all could
Yeah.
only let in the first black person after we were alive, bro. After apartheid ended.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Like,
That's so
For real.
But I don't know, man. It's just, I guess because like you don't experience racism every single day, so I just feel like not far removed because it's honestly right there. But it's like the fact that that sort of mentality can still exist. Like I rather believe it doesn't.
But I think also too this the fact that you said like to keep the power and the wealth and stuff within the family is somebody else that has equal or close to equal wealth or power in the family, that when in terms of relationships and passing down things, you don't want to give it to somebody that outside of that social class, right?
I don't know if that's what it
No,
what it is.
wait.
I don't know. But, okay, so for instance, this
Ali?
is, I call it
Ali does
the way that I call it the accepted black person card. Back in the day, what white people used to say about black people was, he's one of the good ones. Right? So, it goes back to exactly what you guys were talking about. Like, it's not necessarily about money, it's about stock.
Interesting.
Like, is this a good person? Like, how do I know this is a good person? Is it his father? No? Okay, let me give him some time, 10 years on the road. Oh, he's one of the good ones.
Interesting.
But you it's only based off of direct interaction.
So your family name will vouch for you in a way.
Exactly.
Right,
That's all
right.
it is. It's just your legacy co-signing for you.
Speaking of names, I want to go back to something you said. You said something about a Joyanne. Give us everything you know about Joyanne, because when I heard about this, I heard about coded language, but I didn't know this was a thing.
My man's segue is getting so clean.
Talk to me, man.
I don't know when I actually figured out what it meant. I can't tell you, but I just remember, I thought that somebody's calling me a bitch. I would call the name, but I can't. Let me not put him on stress right now. But
Your age or older than you?
nah, in my year,
Oh, okay.
IQC. The man used to just walk around calling people Joannes, and then it became an
White man.
acceptable thing. A white man,
Right.
of course, a white man.
Right, just making sure.
Apparently, it started at another school. I think it was Lodge or St. Michael's or something so. And obviously the QC white boys got wind of it, and then they started using it. At first, I thought it was just them calling me a bitch, because Joanne is a girl's name. Right? I was just, they're calling me a bitch, calling me a bitch, calling me a bitch. I had no idea, again, that it was just them just being secretive and just trying to call me nigga to my face. And like, at QC, remember we used to play Take Me To at the back of the school? That's the first time I heard it there. Because we used to play with the white boys, but the white boys didn't have enough people. So they needed a couple of black people that were
Talking black.
No, not talking blacks. Not talking blacks. What used to happen is they had, and a big reason I ended hanging out with people was because they used to get to school very early, right? So, for some reason, a lot of white people used to get to school early. I used to get to school like 7 o'clock, right? My aunt used to drop me to school. I used to get there like 7, like Kurt Robinson. Oh God. Anyway, some other white people used to get there, and we used to go to the back of the school, and we used to play Take Me To, right? And I remember, I'll never forget, dog. The same man that called me a joint pedal a brick at me, dog. Like, when I pedaled this brick from so fucking far.
He's a strong guy.
Dog. I watched this brick coming, dog. Is he full length for the cricket thing, huh?
Yeah.
Take Me To, obviously it's not like, it might not be a full pitch.
Yeah,
I
but
pedaled this brick, dog. I see it coming like, nah, he's a weak bitch. No way that guy know here. Didn't reach about fucking here before he decided, nah, that can hit me. And I turn around and run to hit me square in my bobby. And that's the same nigga. Not nigga.
clearly.
That called me Joyanne, be like,
So
obviously,
Joyanne just-
obviously, like when I found out though, I just wanted to kill people, be.
So Joyanne was just like them hiding the word nigga?
Yes, 100%. That's all it was. That's all it fucking was. I know the story, but if I tell you the story, other people may be able to figure it out. And I don't want to put people in shit right now because people were young. People
Let
were
me
stupid.
shit people though.
Yeah.
People were young and stupid.
Alright,
And I know the man now, like he's a good fella. And I heard that that's where it started.
He showed remorse cause
Nah, he didn't. I don't know if he showed remorse.
well,
maybe. I'm not gonna out it. I'm not gonna out it.
But can you at least give a bit of his story so we understand?
No,
where
if
it stems from?
I even out a little bit of it.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
apparently it was the name of his maid was Joyanne.
Oh, but that says a lot.
Interesting.
That says
Right.
a lot. That says a lot.
And all the white men only called.
Actually, the only people that'll be able to figure it out are white people. And if you already know that, then fuck you too. Because,
That is crazy though.
I kind of still stuck on that. Like,
But yeah, I want to know how you found
Kofi,
out.
how did you not know about this? B?
I'm not being. Marcus asked me.
What class were you in your alpha?
Alpha. Marcus asked me the other day. If I know what Joyanne is, and to me that was I thought it was a bitch. I thought it was just
Yeah, exactly.
a
Just call her a
female.
bitch. That's what I thought it was for long, B.
That don't even make sense to me. To go on that sort of mentality at that age is what I kind of focusing on now.
Which is why I don't understand why we try to cancel all these stories.
You see,
That doesn't surprise me either, though.
It's strange how you can reclaim a word like that. Like you just take a word.
they could use any word. They could have used any word. They could have decided that on their own that they're gonna call every black person an ant, even though like black and ant. Okay, maybe not ant. I don't know. Just any random word. You know, like carpet or sign. Who knows? They could be doing it all now. You would never know. I mean, I feel like I would know, but
What has been known, right, is that I can't
I'm
even
accepted.
I can't
Might go hide
remember
their
of a
secrets
time
too,
in
though.
life where I may have been called a Joanne. As a man,
Dog,
see,
you were definitely called.
I want to say it
you were
probably
definitely called a Joanne.
Probably was. I just had no idea.
Overall, do you think that the community in the white community in Barbados is racist? Like more racist than not.
The system of it is.
The system of it is, but the people in it.
The people of it are not aware that they're being
We're
racist.
oblivious.
What do you think about? First of all, I want to define. How do you define racism?
I know, like most people define it as systemic prejudice based on the system,
right?
But now racism is just prejudice based on the color of your skin.
So you think black people could be racist?
Black people can definitely be racist in my mind.
And
They're two distinct definitions. Dictionary definition 1 and dictionary definition 2. Based on dictionary definition 2, yes, they can be racist.
but still racist. Okay.
What?
I mean, prejudice based on skin. Like, what else you want me to call that?
Right.
Colorism, and I know people use that, but that's racism, bro. Classism, that's racism in Barbados, bro. The same thing. Because when you break that down, like classism, who's at the top?
Right.
You know.
Interesting.
And do you find that within the black community, do you find that a lot of people in the black community would be racist based off of that definition?
Yo, growing up, I don't want to say my family is racist, but my family never had anything good to say about white people. My grandmother was an Indian woman, and like she was the one, like, it was not that she was bashing them, it was just like, you know, you just don't trust them.
Right.
You know? Like that's really all that came from it. Don't trust them. Like these guys are people that would, you know, take your ideas or take your money to do whatever. Just don't trust these people. And that's how I grew up, and that's how a lot of black people grew up.
Right.
And the same experience I had, where I did not know I was black because I had never interacted with anybody white, is the same experience that people have today. Like I know so many people that have never had a conversation with a white person in their life and live in Barbados. And I mean, like, it's not that far-fetched considering the small percentage of people that are white. But at the same time, yeah, like they've never had any interaction with them personally. A lot of people's opinions on racism are based on a collective consciousness rather than their personal interaction.
I agree. I think that a lot.
Tradition.
I think that a lot of it stems from not speaking to the other person. That you just develop your own ideas and perceptions of
it's
the
true.
person. Yeah.
Correct.
Would you say that a lot of people's opinions of white people do come from interaction with a manager, like someone in a management?
Right.
Someone in power.
And that's a
That
problem.
too.
And that's a
Yeah,
huge
that
problem.
too.
Because
That too.
everybody's supposed to hate their goddamn boss, B. And if your boss happens to be white, like, it's not just because they're white that you hate them.
Right.
So you
Right.
gotta try to put, you know, the right things in the right boxes.
A lot of people have things to say in the last like month. One of them was a friend of yours, and I won't say his name, just because he get a lot of backlash on Twitter, right? I got his tweet, and we can discuss what he said. I
Can you
determined.
mix me another?
I get it.
Because it's not really a double back kind of thing, but I just want to say that the worst part of the Joyanne thing is that because I didn't know what it meant, I was calling people Joyannes.
Right.
Shite.
And that was the worst part of it.
Right.
Because I thought I was calling people bitches, you know?
Yeah, B.
Which is better.
No, like, I didn't use it really to other black people.
You just was using
But
it
I
as
used the term,
bitch.
because I was hanging out with the white people, I would call them Joyannes.
Fair.
Jesus, peace, dog. That's sick.
Yeah, B. But anyway, let's move on, because I feel
Yeah.
It's not because I feel like he felt stupid.
like... No, I felt so ignorant after I found out, B.
Um.
And I didn't find out until after school was done, huh? Like, this was after like, maybe I was in BCC. And then I started hanging out with a different group of white people. Some girls that let me know, oh, shit, well...
So did they hear you using the term, or?
They didn't hear me use the term, because, like, that... You know, like, fads or whatever, like, it had died off by then.
Say. But speaking of ignorant statements, y'all making these segments real hard, boy.
Boy, I honestly impressed. Like, nigga, you for real, man.
All right, I think he's one of your friends, but he made a tweet, and he got a lot of backlash for it.
He can read it, Rex.
Racism is everywhere. That's an indisputable fact. However, in the Caribbean, I feel as though we've got something special, a strong, unique sense of culture that sets us apart from the rest and brings us together as a people. He get lambis.
But he's not wrong.
Wash off.
He's
I
not
don't.
wrong.
Nah, you gotta explain. You gotta
He's not-
explain me, cause I don't understand what you mean.
He is absolutely not wrong. It's just because of the white person saying that.
What does that mean?
That's what I maintain.
That we have a special, we have a unique. I think he means that.
It was totally tone deaf. It was totally the wrong time to say it. But there's nothing wrong with that statement. Because we do come together as a culture. Like when it comes to crop over and that kind of stuff, white people enjoy that, black people enjoy that, Trinity people enjoy that. You know, everybody comes together for those events. You know, like obviously Barbados is not like Grenada, where in Grenada they don't have options. Everybody ends up lining in the same spots.
But you don't find
Week in, week out.
segregated groups within even Kaduma, like certain bands,
No,
they gravitate towards certain bands and stuff too?
100%, but you have to understand, Barbados is not big enough to just have white people in a band, right? Obviously, Hard Blacks is majority.
Blue Box Card would disagree.
No. Blue Box Card can't disagree because at the same time, Blue Box Card is still. It's predominantly white, but there's still black people in there.
I mean, yeah,
but think about it from the white.
isn't it
person.
the same
Think
black
about
people
it from
that
the-
went Harbor Lakes, according to you?
Some of them. Some from overseas and stuff like that. But think about it from the white person's perspective, B. They're not thinking of... They don't know this black person. So this black person could be from the ghetto. I'm not saying that they are. I'm not saying that people are ghetto. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with ghetto people being in Blue Box Card. I'm saying that in their mind, they have no idea the history of this person.
Mm-hmm, but still
But they're
partying with them?
partying with that person regardless. So in their mind, it's a free up.
Alright. Isn't it no... Do you remember earlier you were talking about the parents asking who's your father or whatever to figure out who you are, what's your lineage? Isn't that almost like, okay, you register a Blue Box Card, you're one of us now, we could party together or whatever? Isn't that a similar vibe but with less conversation?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so at all because you don't... The hardest part about jumping a Blue Box Card is actually going to Hard Blades and signing up. Right? And after that, like... Nobody's asking you any questions after you sign up.
Yeah, they're not denying you in any way.
They don't deny you entry.
I ain't saying they're denying you. Okay, alright. There's obviously no way to do this other than a social experiment. But if you was to put like the most urban person and put them in Blue Box Card.
Wait, they're in a costume. What are they gonna do?
You're correct. I know.
But no, I obviously there are elements to that statement that are false. But there are elements to it that are true as well. Because as a culture, like Caribbean people identify as one culture. White people, as much as you might not like it, and as much as they try to stay maybe above it and out of it, they still do identify as Caribbean people. Soca's still a huge thing for them. You know, like Lyman is still a huge thing. Drinking rum is still a huge thing.
I do
Going to
like that
beaches
you
is
said
still the
that
same
because
thing.
I think it is important that what you just said. I think most Caribbean people do identify as Caribbean before black or white.
Yeah.
But he did open that with saying that racism doesn't exist in Caribbean. Which is
No,
just shite.
he said it.
Did he not say that?
He says that racism exists. It's an indisputable fact. That's what he started by
Is
saying.
however you thinking about?
I can't tell nothing before that, you know.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Nothing before that to me is don't register.
If you are white, right? Never say racism is everywhere, however. Never say racism and however in the same sentence.
You can't,
ever
because I can't
in
hear it before
life,
you, however.
I guess I could agree with that.
Ever. And that's not even because what you're saying could not because of the truth of what you're saying. Simply because how people will perceive it. Regardless of what it is you say, it's going to be perceived in a negative light. That's what I would say.
I feel like I try really hard to like give people the benefit they don't try to understand, but it's very hard to hear that. I can be real. It's very hard to hear that sentence and hear anything before it, however. Because I am not joking. You just read it and I completely forgot everything before, however.
Read
All I
it
heard
again.
was
Read it again.
read it again.
Okay, okay. So he said basically, racism is everywhere. That's an indisputable fact.
I did not hear that, B. I did not hear that before.
So when he says like in the Caribbean, I feel as though we've got something special. That's solely.
It's so like racism. Racism season, man. What the fuck? Wait, I heard you like paprika.
But hold on. First off, racism in the Caribbean does not exist the way it exists in America. Full stop,
Right.
Barton. There's no question.
Yeah, that's
about
not a
it,
question.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
right? Because obviously in America, they're the minority. Here we're the majority.
Right.
Right? So exactly, it's different, completely different history. Don't get me wrong. I know white people that have been made to feel awkward because of race. Like ask Josh. He went to school at HC. You went to school at QC. When they used to talk about slavery,
We
they
literally
used to
just
give
spoke about that.
they used to give examples.
Yeah.
It was the white people come and stand at you, the slave owners. You point at me, you'll be a house nigga, and then you other people will be slaves. Like
That is
it's a
crazy.
ridiculous, and they're teaching you segregation, B.
Yeah.
Something that you should not even like care or ever have to think about, just by teaching you a little bit of history. It's like sex education. Like the first time I found out about sex was actually through sex education. Be like they were trying to teach you about it to save you from making the wrong mistakes, But the reason I became a horny little fuck is because I learned about what sex was from these people in primary school, which was a completely inappropriate time to learn
You
about
had sex
this.
education at primary school?
Yes, be like.
Dog, I went to Charles Epps.
Yo, that's insane.
They had men at Charles Epps.
I didn't know that.
Nah, me,
Sex
I
and-
went to fucking
sex
Wesley
and
Hall,
sperm.
though. Primary school?
They're prodigals.
My mom was school in town. I was on Boston Road in school, bro.
I definitely didn't learn about it.
Yo, that is
You went to Rock Christian.
Rock Christian.
You definitely heard about
So
that.
you think that the way that they teach history is in a way that it would does more harm than good then? I would say yeah.
In the long run, no. Because you need to know these kind of things and like why slavery was bad and that kind
Right.
of stuff for sure. But at the time, like, it was just a little bit of tension that you didn't necessarily need in that environment.
Right. The way that they
I
teach
remember
it. The way they teach it.
one of the white guys in my class when we were teaching it, he was like legit just hiding himself, literally on the textbook, just full of red. Like I say, his neck was red. Me, this man just I had like, child buddy, your parents own me. Well, I can't do nothing about that.
But going back
It's
to
not something you should be ashamed of, though. Like,
yeah.
it has nothing to do with you. That's like being German.
It's not
being
you.
ashamed
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. It's not you
Being German.
that own slaves.
Going back to what happened with this tweet and the backlash, I feel that a lot of white people get wrongfully accused of racism as opposed to just ignorance. I don't think that all ignorance stems from racism. I don't.
100% agree.
Right. I think that, for example, there are times when people say Black lives. It's not that Black lives matter. All lives matter. Some of that can just stem from you don't understand the
Correct.
sentence. But can I lump you in the same category as somebody that's saying that Black people are inferior? I can't do that. And I feel that a lot of them just get put under that umbrella because they misspeak, or they use the wrong terminology or whatever.
I kind of, not that I disagree. I don't disagree with the ideal of what you're saying, but I feel like you word that weirdly because at the end of the day, if you do feel a certain way, like it is racism. It is a racist mentality.
Not necessarily.
No,
How is it not,
dog.
though?
It's nah.
I'm saying like okay,
Dog, to commit an offense, you have to be aware of the offense that you're committing, right? You have to be somewhat.
Ignorance of the law is not. Ignorance of the law is
It's
not.
correct.
Right. So what you're saying, bro?
But like, there still has to be some element of mens rea if we want to get into legalese.
Okay.
These people are not. These people. Don't get me wrong. If you're outright KKK but stupid,
Yo,
that's your own fault. Don't get me wrong. That is your own fault.
Right.
But a statement like that, like obviously, like it is. There's levels to ignorance.
Right.
A statement like that, I can excuse. But
Right.
I am saying no when like I hate that this podcast is can't take time to Google something. But I can't think of an example right now. But there are times where someone would say something that is so stupid. Like you mentioned the all lives matter thing. I feel like if you want to stop and say all lives matter, you gotta recognize your racism. Because no one ever said all cancers matter. No one ever said all germs matter. Like all diseases matter. You hear breast cancer awareness and you go, great. I want to save that because that's a disease. That's very shite. Not. Oh, what about prostate cancer? No, that's not a thing. So when you say all lives matter now, you gotta study. You have to make the connection that I am taking away something from the fact that Black lives matter, which might not be your intent, because a lot of people think that Black lives matter is somehow saying that the Black race is superior to all other races. They do not understand. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes the ignorance is there. A lot of people are very ignorant. Their racism stems from ignorance, and it now takes time to educate them to let them realize, okay, that was very
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't always stem from ignorance, though. It just stems from you not understanding the concept. So
That is the definition of ignorance.
No. Sorry, it may not stem from racism, right? Your ignorance can stem from something else. So, for example, the truth is...
Right.
So, for example, if you don't understand that there are unique experiences that affect Black people in a negative way, and you hear something like Black Lives Matter, but it's like, but all lives matter. But yeah, they do, but Black lives matter too.
Wait.
If you don't know that backstory, though, it would just sound as though you're just only talking about Black lives. So some of the
I got it. You had me there. Let me hear it, Scott, before Marcus talk.
You have to remember that, as you're saying, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. I'm not saying that they're right for it or anything like that, but just remember that when you talk about white people in Barbados, you're talking about the minority,
Yeah.
right? So like when they come out and they feel away, like white people always feel like they're not allowed to feel anything about anything to do with Black people. because they're the minority. They own all the wealth. They all do all that kind of stuff. But obviously, they still do experience hardships. I'm not saying that hardships are equal.
It's
Don't get me wrong. It's not comparable at all.
Everyone got their own
But
issues,
in their mind, like when you say Black Lives Matter to a white person in a country that's mostly black, how are you gonna feel? I'm not saying that if you're ignorant of the world stage and what's going on in the world, and you make a statement like that in Barbados, like maybe that statement that was made, like
I don't understand why that. I don't understand why that example is a problem though. I feel like honest to God, if 1,000 Indians right now were to be in the road saying Muslim or Indian lives or Hindu lives matter, I could not care less, because Indian lives matter. Okay, if that's what you want to do, cool. I don't know what's oppressing you, but if that's what you want to do, cool. So why
make the statement? Why make the statement?
What if they're white, not Indian? In that example.
But you're talking about me.
Right. If you saw people saying white lives matter in the street, you would not see any issue with that.
You're talking to me.
Oh, so you want to?
I don't know if I would. There are very okay. Hold the word this, because we recording is Rex officer. There are very few things that I put that much. I don't like to put my opinion on the things I'm not educated on.
Mm-hmm.
So probably because of what we do and where I work, I would want to find out what's going on. But if that was not the case, and like I just home and I breathing and that was to happen, I probably would not necessarily care. Because it's just happening, and I don't need there are things that happens all around me that's like, that's bear can't you? And I do not care less.
Okay,
so if that was happening, right, I would probably ask a question, and if I find out that is racist shit, it was racist shit. If I find out that people was killing white people, that's bear shit. But
Black Lives Matter started in America because of one, coronavirus, because people were bored as hell. Two, because
you a couple years behind.
Nah, you're wrong.
Black Lives Matter.
No. I'm sorry. I'm talking about this current movement. Obviously, Black Lives Matter has been like what, 2-3 years old.
Oh, right.
Whatever. I'm talking about this current movement that kind of took the entire globe now. Like everybody's talking about it.
Right. Not
just America. Like this is a universal issue now, right? Like obviously you have the people in America that are their racism is overt. Their racism is people dying in the streets. So when my friend would come out here, or that tweet that you read would read like that, they're tweeting about the types of racism that exist. And our type of racism is not overt. Nobody's dying out here, right? So when people say it's sweet, it's still sweet to an extent. If you compare it.
What's a word to call racism?
If you compare it. No.
I get it.
If you compare it to the levels of racism that the systemic levels of racism that exist over there, because in Barbados it is possible. It's not likely, but it's possible for a white person and black people to be on the exact same level, right?
Right. I mean, in terms of
socioeconomic
okay.
conditions.
Right. But going back to what you said, Kofi, is basically that your interpretation is not necessarily the interpretation of most people. That the way that you we can get here, alright.
Yeah.
But I mean, hold on a minute.
Mostly wants to burst.
No,
Let me go.
No.
Not almost.
I don't necessarily see how there may be parity between people. Okay, so a black person and a white person can be of similar wealth. But the perception of that is totally different in Barbados.
White people money is, I was gonna say something.
No, but
white people money and black people money.
Don't get me wrong. When I say wealth, I mean literally the amount of money you have in the bank and the amount of equity that you have that the lifestyle you can live.
Privilege of being white.
No, 100%. I've had these arguments with my friends because obviously like I have most of my friends right now are white. Well, I do still have a lot of black friends, but most of the people that I hang out with the most regularly are white. And their number one argument is, oh, my family had to work hard. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. Your family don't have to work hard, or not as hard as you think.
Yeah.
Because your grandmother started that. Great. You know why she was able to start that? Because one, she got a loan from her family. Two, every other white person was buying for her because she's white.
You're saying the family though. Like if I was to walk in a bank now as a Caucasian, that loan get through. For the same business.
I ain't sure.
Are y'all crazy?
Not in this day and age.
Are y'all crazy? Let me talk about it.
Not in this day and age.
Let me talk about it.
I ain't sure.
He said he got denied for a loan this week.
Let me talk about it.
But now, real talk. Nah, the systems that are in place are like they check all your background information, all kind of stuff. Like it's way more
Can there
binary.
really be equality amongst black and white people. I mean, if the perception is a perception that white people are somewhat safer in terms of investment, right? It's just that perception that is still prevalent in Barbados, though.
Right.
No.
And white people benefit from just associating with other people who are able to move things. So a black person may have wealth in Barbados, may have money in Barbados, but a lot of things happen amongst white community because they know the person.
Right,
who's able to move
association,
that
network.
thing.
That
Yeah,
network
it's
privilege
that
is also
network
a
is
different
different.
thing.
So
even
That's
though
different.
you're still not. You may have the money, but your money is not doing anything for you.
Right.
Well, when you-
Because
when
a lot
you-
of things,
when you
a lot of
look at
stuff is not even the currency, and a lot of currency in business is not even the money.
It's
It's
cachet
social
that you
currency.
got. Right.
That's important.
No, 100%. Like you look at the white businesses that exist and the white people that make the most money. Well, what businesses are these? It's construction and real estate. Who's building these houses and who's buying these houses? People from overseas. Expats. Who do expats want to deal with?
Their own.
Their own white people. And this is it's going to perpetuate because again, and I know maybe you want to get to this later, but in terms of economic empowerment and that kind of stuff, this is what keeps Barbados back, and this is why Black Lives Matter overseas matters to Barbados. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's do what you're doing. Continue.
But
along
as a
your
matter of fact,
trend.
we can let me go this hour now because you want something. So let's talk about it.
Where do we start with?
In terms of economic power. Okay, let's start with this. There was the Buy Black Barbados that happened this month.
Oh, you saw my tweets about that.
I didn't see your tweets actually, so that's great. But I know that people were saying certain things about like we should buy black for a day and stuff as a way to support black people.
It was actually Josh that tweeted it. Josh was like, Jesus Christ, I don't have one day. Like, what's the problem? Or something along those lines.
Right.
No, it wasn't like let them have one.
Sorry.
Let the let the black queens and kings
Let the people have cake.
have what they deserve.
And then what happened was I don't know his position. I can't remember because I don't want people to fact check me right now. But I think his last name was Clark. Something
Yeah,
to do with
Edward Clark, yeah.
Right. The not chamber of commerce.
He had a
private
small business
sector,
or some shit. Yeah.
private sector something. Right.
Yeah,
Small business something.
Right,
Like that.
right.
He came out and he said that he's not against it, but he doesn't think it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And he gave an example of what people should be doing outside of that. So he talked about economic empowerment for black people by pooling wealth, which makes a lot more sense. And people were shitting on him. He was like, they got caught up with the Barbados Today headline. I can't remember what the Barbados Today headline is. If you could pull that up, that'd be fantastic. But it was essentially, they were being salacious. They were just like, well, this guy says no.
No. Right.
Essentially, and people are
He
like,
doesn't
well,
support
fuck
it.
this guy.
Right.
But what he said made a lot of sense because, and this is what the debate I was getting into on Twitter because what does buying black actually do? Because if 93% of Barbados is black, and you buy black, like these black businesses already exist, right? You're buying black at a level that is low. Like if you go to your corner shop and you buy black, you're buying goods from that black person that bought it from the white person. So if you buy black, you're still buying white, bro. It doesn't make any sense. So in that same article, Clark nodded to the COB and said, you know, these are the positive things that you could have because COB is really white. I don't know that white people use COB. I know some do, but like mostly like working class. No, in general.
I'm just curious if the white people use.
I don't ever hear any of my white friends talking about COB. They talk about life insurance. They talk about investments and that kind of stuff, like and other things. But that's a pooling of economic resources for black people,
Right.
And that's what they should be looking at. And this is my point to the guy. I was like, well, if you really want to buy black, you don't go to your corner shop. You don't go to one of the I don't know what do you have, like maybe 20,000 black businesses here. Okay,
Right.
well 140,000 people in the workforce. Let's say you have 5,000 black businesses.
Okay.
Right? All you're doing, like the market is, I don't want to say saturated because it's not saturated in that sense. But there are so many black businesses that you can buy from that each of
Honestly,
us
right.
buying from that one black business that you know that you choose to buy from on that day is going to make no economic difference to black people in general.
It's honestly easy in Barbados to buy from black business.
It's too easy.
It's not,
That's my point.
it's not
It's too
effort.
easy.
Like, leave that for the states.
Correct.
That where like where is like 10%
The minority
black.
of the businesses
Correct.
are owned
That
by black
makes
people.
sense then. But
So-
I gotta agree with you there.
So,
B. I
so
never
what
understood it.
I was saying was, what you should do is choose like 4 or 5 black businesses that you're only going to support as black people. Right now, if you wanted to done Massey, you could done Massey. You're gonna say, all right, we as black people, we can deal with these lines at Popular, and we're only gonna shop at Popular. You know what I mean? Like things like that, or Trimart. I think Trimart is black one.
I don't know.
Carlton?
It looked like it's black one.
Yeah, Carlton
Carlton
is black.
black one.
City.
But doesn't Carlton or Popular get their goods from white people too?
I mean, yes.
Well,
There's no way to-
I know that there's certain things that they don't, right? Because, but then there's white people and there's multinational corporations, obviously. Because like,
Right, that was
Massey's not really a
White
white company.
So here's my question: is there a way in Barbados that you can purely buy black? That the starting point from where the goods come from is not.
Of course.
is
The
black
question
owned
is, would you lick
straight-
it?
Street market.
Yeah.
Would you like
you
it?
like it? Would it be of proper quality and all that kind
Because
of stuff?
I'm pretty sure Catelli,
No, that's
macaroni
a fact.
is from.
And then the
Is
price.
from. No, is it true?
No,
Because
but the price would change if more people started to support.
Mosey, the price is in part
But it-
because they're
No
under
demand.
patronized.
As well as quality.
They don't have buying
But
power.
Mosey, I'm gonna tell you what's our cash you use, Mosey.
To an ex- I understand
What's
what
our
you're
cash
saying.
you use?
I use Swiss.
You just bear cut.
Cheap catch.
I understand what you're saying, though, Mosey.
There are certain brands that you
One
do not go cheap on. One thing begets the other, right?
100%.
If people make a conscious decision to buy local and buy from the street vendors, obviously the street vendors have to position themselves in a way that they're still getting out. So it tends to be more expensive. If there's more, if there are more people patronizing like markets and vendors and so on, then the price would have to go down,
I
right?
don't know, man. You ever seen a price at Brighton Farmers Market?
No, that's price.
right. But Brighton is what's Brighton? That's white people.
Okay, but
That's what I'm saying,
there's
that's what I'm saying. That's
So white people. Yeah, but you see, that's oh my god. Let me just
There's
touch
another
on something
question.
real quick
Oh, go ahead,
before
go
he moves
ahead.
off of that.
I think
You know the problem with black business in Barbados is the number one problem
Talk to me.
is that black people that want to patronize their black friends' business want something free.
Oh well, yeah.
That's always the number one thing. White people. White people.
Tell you the hot take.
No, that ain't the hot take. That ain't the hot take. But white people
That's the thing.
are paying.
Yeah.
They're supporting.
Yeah.
Indian people are
Indian
paying.
people buy from
Chinese
Indian
people
people.
are paying, and they try to keep it within their communities. Black people are like, okay, you got it cheapest again with you.
Well,
Why is that- why
I
is
know
that
you,
though?
so you should give me a discount.
but why
But
is,
I know you. I want it free. No discount. I want
No,
it
we
free.
trusting.
but my question is though, why is that though? Why is it that only in the black community that happens? That they look for free things as opposed to everybody else?
Because it doesn't come back to them. That's the simplest way to say it. Because if you're in any community, you know if you have a product, they're coming to you. So when you go to them, it's coming back to you indirectly because you keep it in the community. White people, same thing. With black people, there's no trust.
This
That's not necessarily coming back to
spitting,
me.
boy.
That's interesting. That is very.
But on my drink.
That is
God.
very, that is very.
That is very
interesting.
true.
So there are a lot of benefits to having a small community and being a minority to some extent.
If you're a minority with money, yeah.
But I mean,
When
to
you look
get
at the
money,
Indian- when you look-
money in the minorities will have to still stick together to pull together the money and look at it in terms of like indirect, like getting it back to you, the way that like the Indians do,
The
etc.
Cindy Association.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You don't know what the Cindy Association be? You know any Annies?
No.
Wasn't Annie? That sounds like a Joanne. But
Parson
for
Dani, Panjwani, whatever, like
Chinese
Merchant.
shop.
merchant, right? All of them are
Chinese?
Annies. They're
You
all
want
one.
Frangipani, I know.
But they're all part of a association called Cindy Association. And like they're like first or second generation Indians that came here. Actually, it was like one guy that brought them all here.
No,
Like,
Bunny.
through the thing, yeah. Like I don't know the whole history of it.
Minorities as well,
Punan.
is if-
Punani.
even if you look at the white community, right, there's little minorities within the white community that keep money internal as well.
Oh, 100%.
So they had another comment that was made online, right? By somebody. I ain't calling my name, but this is a black fella. I want to hear your perspective on it, and I also hear everybody else. There's so many reasons why white Bajans dislike the average black Bajan. Most
Okay.
reasons I can't mention on social media, but being around white Bajan friends who discuss these reasons, it made me understand why they think the way they do. And it's not that they are racist towards the black community here, it's them just not liking certain things that classes of blacks in the country do.
Hold up. Stop right there. Black people are racist against black people. Let's get out straight. Like
That's racism, in my opinion.
It is racism.
Right.
But black people are racist against black people. I know as a black person, when I go to New York, I'm walking through Brooklyn 12 o'clock at night, and as a person in New York, I know like chances are more criminals, the way that we're educated, more criminals are black. So let me cross the street. And that's how I see black people. And I mean, like, I was raised as a black person. As far as I know, I'm black. I was told I was mixed later on down the road, but I was raised as a black person. So when I see these black people, I'm just like, okay, cool, well, let me lower the probability of me getting robbed and let me cross the street. And that's how black people view black people throughout the world. And if I'm in England, it's different because I know English white boys are tearheads too. So let me not mess with anybody and just keep it clear regardless. But I know
Run from your white kids in England.
in England, no, they're scary. They're scary, B. But in Europe, but that's the thing. That goes back to Barbados, because the way that people are educated to see black people is based on this culture in America.
That's important. No.
You're raised in Barbados based on American culture, American TV, and this is how you see yourself.
Oh,
Super
shoot.
predators, Hillary Clinton, all that.
The
bullshit.
word isn't imperialism. Is the other one
Colonialism.
No, colonialism, or is it imperialism? Colonialism when it come from the European
Right.
colonies or whatever, but imperialism when it come from a geographic location. Right. Yeah, that is what it is now because we.
Cultural imperialism is what you're speaking about.
Right, yeah, obviously. Sorry, it's obvious. It's not obvious at all. Because we accustomed watching their TV or whatever, watching their TV, majority of our media come from states. Even we plugs from states.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do see things like that now, we will think like that because it is true. I laugh because it's so blasted true. My aunt, my aunt lives in Flatbush. It was 2018. I was in. She lived in Brooklyn, but Flatbush, right?
Flatbush is,
yeah. To clarify for some people.
Part of Brooklyn, that.
Right, so like when Rexism, so I had a laugh because Cardi, B, you just be alright. Well, I need to not be here. I'm in the wrong place. I need to.
Dog,
You know,
100%. Be I go off, Flatbush, 2 stops for Flatbush or 3 stops is Winthrop, where it's going.
Yeah.
I go off Winthrop and I hear gunshots, or what I thought was gunshots. I Naruto ran 5 blocks. No joke, because I'm like, okay, nobody killing me out here tonight. Like, not S's son, I ain't dying out here like this. But it turned out to be fireworks. But because I was in Winthrop, I was like, this
You're
gonna be
ready,
gunshots.
Yeah,
This
but
gonna be
no,
gunshots.
that's not necessarily wrong.
Don't feel that way.
That's not necessarily wrong. To be honest, like I do get your point. I know that's very controversial thing to
but
say.
no, it's
and I ain't gonna like a lot of people watching this know gonna be like, fuck you or
No,
whatever.
100%,
But it's not necessarily a wrong thing to say because I sure if you was in New Orleans and you're pats, you running.
Correct.
Because you're not gonna assume that is fireworks.
I could ask one a
That's
question.
100%.
Just one in general. The statistic that 13% of the population makes up 52% of the murders, that they commit the murders and are victims of the murders, does that factor in at all as in the black community in the states?
Is it 13% black?
The 13% of the you're right. Black on black crime makes up 52% of the murders on average.
I guess I don't study
50,
it.
Around 50, yeah.
I don't study it. I think it's more of a case where, like, I hear Jay-Z were raised up in Brooklyn. Jay-Z was saying for years that Brooklyn's a terrible place to live.
Oh, so
Well,
more music things, or more like...
not just
No,
music,
no.
but just showing the places that I don't necessarily... You don't necessarily learn about culture from news.
Right.
You learn about culture from... You learn about culture from music, you learn about culture from movies, you learn about culture from TV.
Right.
There are a lot of different entities that will teach you about culture that you might then say, okay, well, this is how you just live.
But-
Okay.
So
I mean-
that statistic doesn't really stir
Factor
me.
in for you. Okay,
Right.
okay. This one, right?
Look up, black people in America are brainwashed against black people. B.
They are. I
Like,
would agree with that.
they're for all the measures that have kept them down. It's only now that people are getting educated about these measures. But when they call black people criminals, black people are very willing to accept that label. They said, okay, well, this kid stepped wrong, and so many of these kids are stepping wrong. So I guess it's a problem that we all have. And if they want to group all of us together and create policies to try to stem that problem, then they're all for it. But they don't really understand that the root of the problem is not really that these black people are committing crimes. It's obviously systemic. It's way more than that.
You know how long people were hearing things like the only way out of the ghetto was to play basketball or sell
Some
drugs,
sport,
Right.
yeah, correct.
and
And they sing
that
about
wa-
all these same songs you're talking about. Yeah.
right, yeah, that was just a thing. Like whatever. I got a cousin be that like it's well to me. Like I have this man. We breathe together. Like that's my dog. Like that's my cousin, and. Quick, so I hear the man is scam people with credit cards and thing. The man went prison and thing, and I could not believe it. But that's because of this. He was always different, I guess. But that's just how he raised. Like that's what he raised to understand. Like he gotta get out of Flatbush, New York, and into a different life. And his way into this different life was to carry people credit cards and sell things.
I would ask you then, based off of that, a lot of the Black Lives Matter is mostly based off of fighting systemic oppression. Do you think that it should also include the things that happen within the black community too? Some people think that when you mention things that happen in the black community like that is deflecting from the main problem, which is
Yeah, but
systemic.
that's 100% right. It is deflecting. Though.
I have right, yeah. I didn't think I was gonna say it, but I agree because like for me to say Black Lives Matter, for someone to go, oh well, the majority of black crime against blacks is by black people. Whilst that's a fact, I don't think that is helping the position of Black Lives Matter or whatever. But I think it's important for people to pay attention to.
Conversations can be had.
I think both can be had too.
Yeah, but not in a way that you're trying to dilute what's happening.
And
because the thing is, right, this current Black Lives Matter wave, it stems from police brutality, and I feel like that is an issue that the states need to really and truly like digest properly, because police brutality in the U.S. is different from anywhere else in the world. Well, I ain't gonna lie, Beijing police brutality kind of different too, but we just don't talk about it. But yeah, America is a violent society.
Spawned in it.
Exactly. So when you come now and you take that.
But America created this problem though. That's the thing. America created this problem. If you ever go to Europe, right? You go to the Eiffel Tower, you go to any significant landmark. There's always a bunch of Nigerian people. Okay, that might be a little bit racist for me to say, but they're always like Ghanaian or something like that. Yeah. Like what's the French people that go to from Africa, like Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, those kind of people. Like they're selling the trinkets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those people, they're gonna call police on those people, but they're not. Those people are not criminals, you know. They're not out there robbing people. They're not out there doing those kind of things like that. Obviously, some of them are, but like it's not like the position that people have in their minds about American black people, because like it's not just black people throughout the world. It's how Americans view Americans, and that's the problem there. It is the American perception of what a black person is. So when it comes down to a cop, right? When a cop, it's just him. It's learned behavior. It is how everybody else in the community, including black people, are treating black people. And I cannot wrong them for looking at a black person and saying this person is more likely to be a criminal, because odds are he's right. They are more likely to be a criminal. But it is sad, based on probability.
Yeah.
But the problem is that America is the one that created the problem for those black people in the first place.
I don't know if you've read it.
So when you say about coming into the community,
I got to really think about the history of this thing. I know that this guy got to be a problem. I got to deal with this.
Right, exactly. Nobody's thinking about the systemic abuse.
But right? is it a problem?
What do you mean?
I'm asking, is it a problem that I don't think of these systems? Okay, I don't think that maybe my decision might be seasoned with racism when they randomly search this person leaving my store.
What?
Okay, cool. I'm a security guard in the mall. I did not explain that all of a sudden. And this person leaving Macy's, and this person black, and this person was here for a while, and they made buy nothing, and I'm leaving, and I asked to search them. But the reality is, and the sad reality is that the majority of thefts, I still live in New York by the way, committed by black people, right? So am I wrong for searching that person that just come in there and was walking out for a while?
Searching them, yeah. Being suspicious, I guess not.
Was it different?
There's no difference.
Was it difference there?
There is no difference.
Searching the person?
There's no difference.
I am suspicious person who committed a crime.
Okay, that is
not necessarily
that is violating certain rights that
searching.
somebody has to search somebody.
I don't know.
Searching somebody.
All right, I don't know what a security guard.
privacy.
I don't know what a security guard can do. Like, I'm not saying that searching is right or wrong. I'm more focused on it as a security
I'm pretty
guard.
sure a security guard can ask you to open your bag.
Nah, I don't think so.
Or,
I don't think so.
Like,
I mean, if you came in that store with that bag, I'm pretty sure they're within their rights to ask you.
I don't know. I think that's the thing.
That is an invasion of privacy. I don't think so. Yeah.
But
going back.
But stop and frisk used to be thing in New York, if you want.
And that was a violation of rights.
Correct.
That was right. Stop. Right. So I have the same kind of concept, right?
I am thinking a lot lately. I read a story from someone on Reddit. I frequently Reddit a lot. Everyone knows that. But this person was saying that they work retail, and is a white person. They were never inherently racist, but because when they were on shift, all, and not the majority, all of their thefts was committed by a black person. So then she, after a while, coming up in this company, and she was getting, like, when someone got stolen, it, like, sometimes got docked from her paycheck or whatever because she didn't prevent it. So now she's in a mindset, and she was actually asking for help to get this mindset. She was in a mindset that when a black person walks in the store now, there is a chance that this person might steal from me, and this person might take based on my paycheck. Right. So she can keep an extra eye on the black person, and she realized that this is kind of shit. This is kind of racist. But at the end of the day, I felt myself like, I don't want to say simple things, but I'm not word at all.
It's a reality.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Like, I question whether there is more crime amongst the black community than other communities. That's not something that I've accepted.
When you say crime, you mean levels to crime?
There's levels to crime.
Right.
There's crime that is very immediate. There's crime that is very obvious. That I think that black people make, or it may be seen that black people commit more. But there's
Nah, for sure, like
for sure.
for sure,
There's other kind of crime that in the spectrum of things may be much worse.
But crime is judged differently, though. I mean, you gotta look at that. So looking at someone as a murderer and a thief are different.
Okay, so that's exactly my point. When we discuss crime, we tend to block off certain aspects of crime and so on, and speak about a specific thing very, very, very narrow, right? And then try to come to some sort of conclusion based on a very, very narrow look at crime. But there's crime that people who send hits out on people.
Right.
Very, very
you gone far. I thought you would have gone more like FI
White collar
inside training. Inside training, sorry.
huge crimes and that have
people could lose their jobs.
What do you mean? Set us into recession, bro. Like legit, huge impact.
But can also lead to murders and different kinds of other things that are obvious crime. So when you start at so there's this murder, whether we're gonna look at this society, or the ghettos, or whatever you're gonna look at that. Obviously, you're gonna have a skewed perception of what crime is, but there's a whole vastness of crime.
And then to
But there's crime and criminality, because it is the perception of what a criminal is. Because a white person that is out there doing that, stealing from the people, nobody's gonna look at that person and say that's a criminal.
Nice.
Even after he went to prison, they're like, "Oh, this guy's a criminal."
Right.
Oh,
He made a mistake.
He defrauded the government, but
he
he's
made
not
a
a criminal.
mistake, yeah.
That was against the
so
thing.
that's something that needs to be looked at, because then it broadens the whole outlook of what crime is or what criminality is on who's deemed a criminal, right? And then the outlet is gonna look much different. It's gonna look much.
But I look at certain crimes differently than others, though. If you shoot two people, that's different from if somebody steals from somebody. Like
okay, but here it is, right? If you steal from a grocery store, are you worse from the man that I don't know threatens somebody to threaten somebody to sell their stock to you?
Wait, say that again.
He said, I didn't ask him to say it again.
No, I thought you were going on. Sorry.
If you Marcus Myers went in, I don't know, local fruit stand and stole 2 fruits.
Right.
Are you worse or as bad as a man that owns, I don't know, a drug company and you threaten someone to lower the price of their drug or raise the price of their drug or whatever? So you could trade on an insider level. Now you have this insider information that you could work with. And as a result, people literally cannot buy that drug. People cannot work and sell that drug anymore. Like who's worse there?
Wait, sorry, is that a crime?
Insider trading is 100% a crime.
It's very
No, you see the fella, you're not even sure
No,
that's something wrong.
no. I'm thinking about the fella, Martin
Shkreli? My guy?
I'm asking. For example, if I purchase like the patent on a drug or something
That's
like
different.
That's not what
That's
he
different.
meant.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he was being an asshole because he bought HIV medication and made it super expensive.
Yeah.
But the example that you're trying to make, you're trying to say that there's like different.
We need to look at. Finish reasoning.
Oh no! I just want to know if. Are you trying to say that there's different levels to the severity of crimes, and it should be judged differently? Because I would judge them differently.
I am trying to say that one is clearly worse than the other, even though one is right in your face. I think that, as Moses is saying, one is immediate. When you steal from a fruit vendor, that is that fruit vendor's livelihood. You are taking away some of his assets, cool as a theft. Insider trade, no. A little bit
it's kind of like a victimist crime in a way, because like these are huge corporations. It's not an individual.
Right. Thank you.
No, you're right.
Go back to the original thing. Go back to the original thing that you're
challenge
saying.
this too, because let's talk. Okay, let's just talk about gangs and whatnot. Everybody's gangs, black people in gangs and whatnot. Going back to the American society, right?
It's hard not to.
Irish mob,
Right.
Italians. These people are
MS-13, all that.
No, but that's organized crime, B.
No,
But aren't gangs organized crime?
Yeah, of course.
No. You watch Wire?
Yeah, but let me go. Keep going, okay, Mosey.
The point I'm making is these mobsters and whatnot, a very vicious society, very vicious community. People turn up dead. People sleep with fishes and want to use all the
analogies.
Right? But yet those people get glorified. Right? There are movies about these people and they're looked at differently than the black gangsters.
Let me be real, be the Bloods and Crips. Cause that is all organized crime.
But that's not about The Wire. The Wire is black people.
I never watched The Wire.
The Wire is
But you
one
watched
was one of the biggest. That was the second big HBO show ever.
I know of it. I just
how
never
you
watched
read
it.
it?
I
I never watched
understand
it.
the point that you're making though.
But no, black people are glorified all the time. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
but
all the time in terms of. I mean, there's no Scarface.
yeah,
Power, Empire, The Wire. Okay.
Right.
right.
I think organized crime just is glorified in film.
In general.
Just in general.
But like,
I get what
look at
Moji's
Top
saying,
Boy.
man.
Look at Top Boy.
I get what Moji's saying.
People are okay. The Italian mobsters and the Irish people people die the same way. You know, people run the same territory. It's just that these guys are in suits and whatnot.
Nah, it's not because they're suits. It's because they're white. Let's get it right. It's because they're white. It's because they're
exactly
white.
that.
Because they're juiced in with other people.
You're talking about
it's so
this
fucking true.
difference in terms of crime and but certain crimes that black people commit are more immediate. It's more obvious.
Is that is more black?
It's
Yeah,
not.
but
It's
even
not that.
when white people commit those obvious crimes, they're not looked at in the same
Bro,
way.
you remember the guy? I think he was from Texas. His defense was affluenza.
Oh yes.
Oh, the fucking
remember that?
rapist?
Yes.
No,
I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. I don't
Brock
remember.
Turner?
Nah, it was. His name was
Not Brock Turner?
No. It was.
A judge like him said because he came from affluence.
No, that's Brock Turner. Brock Turner. Wait, you mean Brock Turner that rip an unconscious girl?
Yes, it was.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know
Affluenza,
who it
for
was.
things
It was
affluenza, like Brock
affluenza.
Turner.
That was
Brock
his
Turner.
defense. It was a
Brock
landmark case.
Turner rip a woman that was unconscious. I think it was filmed.
Nah. We can't be talking about the same man. Because this man was not filmed.
I refuse to believe there was more than one affluenza case.
I think there were actually two. There was one like after like way thing because they used it as a.
Yeah, but let me not get too lost in it. But right. So basically, it's perceived differently.
Yes, even if for the same crime, you know.
But let's
It's the
bring
same
that
thing.
back to
You come
Barbados.
from good stock. You come from
Everybody
sorry.
Sorry, let's bring
Alright,
that back to
mediator.
Barbados for a second. Sorry, let's bring it back to Barbados for a second. When a man in Barbados goes to jail,
Right.
for a fight bag,
Right.
right, or a one joint, he goes to jail. Like he's on remand for like a couple months before he goes to prison or whatever. And like that's punishment enough. Like just having to be on remand is crazy.
It is really crazy.
When you have a raw student that's arrested for cocaine, marijuana, MDMA, and I think it was something else.
What the hell is it?
Molly.
MDMA, Molly or ecstasy, whichever. Like it's
Right.
like, you know what happened to him? He was Canadian. They sent him home. That's all that happened. He got deported. This man, like you would get locked up for a joint. This man got sent
Would that
home.
be the same if it were a Bajan?
No,
Of course
Why?
not.
But-
absolutely
Not
not.
me a Bajan white.
Oh,
A Bajan white.
I'm not sure, but they like
I
to.
think it's the foreign national thing.
Yeah, it
Let's
could be
real.
that, yeah.
That's
No,
different.
but isn't that racism still? Like that's
Not
neo.
necessarily.
Bro,
Not necessarily.
are you?
It's hard to
No,
tell.
you see,
Canada.
no.
We can't
This is
decide.
Man talking shit. Man
this
talking
is this
pure
is
shit.
this
Every
is
rat
this is
shit.
what you need to consider, right? Like,
How do you know? How can you prove that?
What do you mean? How can you prove it? We're being, woo. we got to start from far.
Interview,
B.
don't start.
We got to start from far.
But on,
Because
on
think of-
those situations, how much of it has to do with the type of representation the person can afford?
Which is
Important.
important. But should that? I don't. Okay.
Almost never.
I don't believe that.
Almost never. You think police don't go in parties? You think police don't go to the parties in let me not name parties.
I'm talking about after the arrest.
It means like during the
what I'm
court case,
saying
right?
is what I'm saying is they're not going to go to court. That's not going to happen. It's not about representation. It's about who you are before you get there. It isn't like Barbados doesn't work like that. It's not like, oh, you go to prison and they think somebody's gonna get you out. No, you never even reach that point. They say, okay, well, this person's that bro. Again, I don't know who's watching this. Police like still treat me the same. But I've been pulled over multiple times. They said, oh, I could get a ticket. I could get a ticket. Up to now, I never get a ticket in my life, and that's because I got a recognizable last name, and that's all. And I can only imagine what it's like for white people that actually do have money.
So I'm saying there are other variables involved before you can just jump to race though. So in the
No.
event that somebody's a foreign national,
I think
that
but
could
it's
also
all
play-
tied-
that
it's
plays a
all
big
tied
role.
to race.
But that's racism.
It's tight
bro.
to race, dog.
That is still
Not
racism.
re- not really.
Marcus
how
F.
is it not
Marcus
racism?
Marcus F.
A foreign national black is not the same thing. Sorry, not a foreign national. A tourist that's black as opposed to a tourist that white get completely different treatment. You have to, dog. If a black person walks through the gap, I mean, it might happen to you still, but you know, you get that the taxi man. They're like, oh,
Right.
taxi, and then when you go white people, they change your accent.
Yeah. But Yeah.
Right, but no. That's just an example.
Because
This is people's perception. Bajans treat tourists, and because obviously we let tourists come
Let's
here.
make an
We're
argument.
we're colonial. No, we're a colonial place. Like not we're a colonial place. Neo-colonialism, but we benefit off of colonialism. Like our number one visitors are from England,
UK.
right? So like, obviously everybody's coming here. Most of the people are going to be white, and they're going to be treated differently. As long as you see a white person as a tourist, they're treated differently than a black tourist. Bro, I see a black man driving a higher car. I'm not assuming that man's a tourist.
Right, but
I'm
that's
not.
because-
I'm saying that this man is working for the company.
That's precisely the point we're making.
No.
But
But
because the person is foreign, that there's almost a pass given to a foreign national as opposed to a person who's here. That's what I'm
There's
asking the
discrimination
I am-
against foreigners too,
If
so
it was
yeah.
I am willing to,
Right.
to assume, right?
If the person were white, Beijing, what can we expect the same rules to play?
Right.
Do y'all really think, let me be honest, that a UE student that come from Trinidad, that's still foreign? Not foreign enough, or not foreign enough all of a sudden?
that's not far enough.
Okay, a UE student that come from Miami and is studying here, get caught with weed, cocaine, and Molly, get sent back to Miami?
No, he got sent out to Canada, but yeah.
Right, but I just
same thing,
Another
yeah.
example, yeah, I feel it's going to.
you really feel so a black
We
student?
can't, but we can't say for sure with these
We know we can't.
hypotheticals,
We
though.
obviously can't.
It's easier to deport that person than to have to go through these
Yeah.
system.
But I think he will hold it
and
1 or
there's
2
a
days
certain level-
easier.
There's a certain what we're not
Speaking about too is the ineptitude as our justice system as well. There's a certain level of nonsense that we do here in terms of the justice system that would embarrass Barbados too. Because this whole, as you were talking about remand and thing, remand for months before you're even called to trial or whatever, I think is a public embarrassment of Barbados. Barbados don't want that. Send he where he's supposed to go.
Yeah, there's some politics that comes into your image when it comes to people being criminals here, though. So that you gotta think about that.
No, 100%. You remember that guy? Because I reposted it because I kind of messed up my friend about it or whatever. I was just joking with him because he had a picture on the same boat, right?
Okay. Alright.
Look, whatever, cool. But the men on the boat, 2 big ups on the board of were on this boat. First it was cocaine, then it was weed, then who knows what the hell it was. And who went to jail?
big boy.
Only one person went to jail. These guys, they I think they got locked up for like a night or 2. Right now. But obviously it was only the black man. Oh, he orchestrated this all by himself. But never mind, you own the boat. 2 people on the company were on the boat and nothing happens to them, B. I'm talking about nothing. And like people are pushing this under the rug. None of the people are talking about it. You see, Barbados is the number one problem in Barbados? Lack of investigative journalism. Nobody wants to really find the
People
truth.
frightened. People frightened.
If people frightened, I frightened.
Again, right?
People frightened,
People are
dog.
scared.
Lack of journalism.
Period. We are
Dog,
shoddy.
Right, they
listen,
just
I
spell
work
check
at
Like, don't Grammarly, though.
bro, I worked at right? You will see an article come out. The article is 1 paragraph. The article is restating the title in 4 different ways. I'm talking about Kofi killed a man. A man was killed by Kofi. No, I can't even think of 4 permutations, but like that's what exactly.
They're giving you the time.
And they give you the time, like stupid little details, but like nothing of substance. And like they just want to be the first. And obviously, like when I was working there, like, that's what it was about. It was about being the
Zero
first.
follow-up
But
story.
no, zero
So
follow-up.
wait, sorry.
Nothing.
So one of the main things that they would tell you is like being first is more important than the value in the story, the substance in the story.
No, I'm not. Look, hello. Thank you for the job. You're here, but I mean more like I'm never going about it. But no, there's a level to it because yes, they're not going to report something wrong,
Right.
but they need to make sure to be the first because like they don't.
First
They're trying to break into a market that.
But is
already,
that a thing or is that no and everybody think? I think journalism is dead in general.
That's
I think
journalism.
is dead
That,
worldwide.
I agree.
Worldwide.
I own Marcus there.
I think social
I own
media
Marcus
broke
there.
journalism.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, but there's still journalism in social media, right? You still go to certain places to get reputable.
What else that is true? How do you break out? No. How do I fight?
And that does not excuse shoddy that does not excuse terrible journalism.
Yeah, I just. But
Okay,
I
but
don't
how
think
do
we
I
should-
fight? How do I not fight BBC? When something break and I trying to you know what I mean, I got my little starter and I try and break BBC. I gotta take that first.
Yeah, but would you try to like maintain journalistic integrity?
For BBC to say it first, and then boy don't look at my thing.
Look, we talking about Barbados.
The thing is,
No,
Kofi-
okay, cool, Barbados. How am I gonna come back be. Cause obviously people look.
Is shorty too?
No, all of them are shoddy.
Oh.
To be fair, they're
Yeah,
all
so I don't like
I
the fact
think-
we target.
Right, but I think they're all shoddy because I think
that was the example. But I've seen Barbados today do the same thing. I've seen Nation News do the same thing. Like
I think that's
it
the case because no, it's a I know crap my voice. I think it's a case where like they're fighting one another.
Yeah.
I think they're fighting one another for this. Is nobody reached that social media hierarchy yet? No one. I don't think anyone and any of the big four media companies.
Which for advocate in
I
there?
said four.
You're a terrible guy. You're a terrible guy.
No,
I said four.
I will only advertise an advocate here. They're
I
very
don't think
trustworthy
anyone has
first.
reached that social media echelon or whatever. Right now, like I feel like in Barbados, just get your news on WhatsApp first,
Right.
and it's be very wrong, but it's on WhatsApp.
Let me remember this because I want to touch back on that in terms of integration, in terms of white people.
Oh, that's important. Right. So I just feel like it's a case of you're trying to get it out first, so that when people are like, oh, I see this on WhatsApp, let me check the news outlets, and then they check Luke White first or whatever. So then Luke article get cheered. That's the stage we at. We ain't graduate into something
But
yet.
that's how TBC and white collar crime make money, huh? Because they get no, of course
They
they
make
make
Oh,
money.
man, what?
Of course they
Man,
make
come
money.
on, man, Josh,
But
man.
the way
space,
they
Josh.
make money is
Add
because
space.
they're
You
gonna
hear that
take
white collar crime?
they're
White
gonna
collar
take
crime?
ex-
Of course, man.
They're gonna
making
take
money.
exactly what they saw on WhatsApp and repost it onto their thing straight. They don't need to edit it. They don't need to worry about nothing. They ain't
Right.
got no corporations behind them. So all
They
they can
do
do is
not have to
post
care,
this.
B.
So how's
And
that payment facilitated?
what do you mean?
People
Advertising?
advertise on their page.
Yeah.
Right.
You never seen them? Obviously, they're not gonna like go through as heavily because they're not.
And also, it will not say hashtag ad. It will just be a post that you don't even know is an ad.
I don't know what ad is.
But what's the point you were making about integration?
Massive fuck this conversation.
No. Because so obviously like I have two groups that I'm in most heavily, which is a white group and then a bougie black people group, and actually Josh is in that group too. But
Wait, you mean a WhatsApp group?
A WhatsApp group. A WhatsApp group.
I did not think you mean WhatsApp.
No,
group.
100% a WhatsApp group.
Easy.
And I'll be in the same group that me and Josh are in, and we'll get news. So let's say we get it today on Tuesday. Same white people will see that on Thursday, because they're not plugged in. They have to get it from somebody that they work with, to get it to them, to get it to somebody that they work with, which is the hardest part. And then by the time it gets to that person they work with, it's like a day and a half is gone, and then it's now they're posting it because they don't have their ear ground. They're not concerned with these things. Like some of them are on TBC and stuff like that, so they will see it, but they're not plugged into Barbados because obviously they live in their like own little community.
So what that fella said was true to some extent, that they don't really be checking for like the posts that black people be checking for and stuff on social media.
Yes, but may not be for the reason. that he-
Right.
It is there's no malice behind it.
Right.
It is the same thing. Like if I'm in a group with black people just for football, and I'm a white person, and all they're talking about football is fine. But that doesn't mean that I don't care about the other struggles that you might be going through. It's just that the only reason that I interact with you is for one thing, and you don't share the other thing with me. It is not that they're trying to hide from it. Don't get me wrong, because when it does come up, they talk about it.
Right.
They have conversations about it. They have opinions. They have sides to these stories and
But
that kind of
just
stuff.
2-3 days later.
But it's just not.
No one cares about it.
Exactly. it's after the conversation has passed. But now, like, since that's happened,
Yeah.
like recently, my friends have joined Twitter and stuff like that. So like, it's coming faster, like TBC.
Your
and
friends
stuff
had
like
joined Twitter?
that. Yeah,
Like recently?
No, Twitter was not. Like they had left it like when it first started. Because remember,
Oh,
Twitter,
you mean like,
struggled.
okay, yeah,
There was like
yeah,
there was like
yeah,
a 4 or
okay,
5 years
I
where
would,
everybody was like, okay, nah, they're done with Twitter, and then people came back.
I would, you know.
But like, so they have to like come back.
White people and black people time, that's so weird.
No, that's not that. But yeah, I appreciate the joke.
I love that, bro. I love it. I love
That,
it.
I don't know if you want to go back to that same article because they did have a bunch of stuff in that still disagree if you did.
The article. Yo, baby, stuff on that. God, safe. Right. So the way they behave, the things they do and say. Have you ever realized that whites don't get into things that blacks do here, especially on social media? They don't ever comment, like, or share certain types of posts you'd usually see the black community commenting on or liking.
All right, pause it there. Oh, wait, finish that next sentence.
And most of these said posts promote foolery and ignorance. Think about it.
So he's saying that white people only promote the ones that are ignorant. The posts that are Bajans messing around.
That's not what
No. He said that they
The
ignore
opposite of
those.
that.
Right.
They ignore
They
those.
ignore those. Yeah, because it's just ignorance and foolery.
I don't understand what he's even saying there because like those are the ones that everybody in Barbados laughs at. Like that same kid that did the common interest, that went around, that went viral. Obviously,
People
like,
saying so, right? And as a man, that I feel like I know 3 people in the world at least, and I have not seen that video yet up to now.
Are you serious?
Be no.
That got sent to me.
No, he
like,
got it.
No one
That was in
has
the
sure.
group, bro. Like, he sent that, didn't you, Josh?
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah.
He did.
I think you mentioned it. Something like that.
He spoke about it, but
Oh, okay.
I have not seen that video up to now.
going back to that, like
No one should have it.
similar to my point.
Right.
Like
Right.
he's not wrong, but at the same time, like there's no malice behind it. It's their position in having interactions with other people that would have understanding of what's going on in those situations.
But here there's no, because he then says, and that's exactly how they see us too, as fools and uneducated, unless we individually prove ourselves to be different from the average black beige.
well, that's
That
that
part.
that is just
That
him
part.
being a little bit. I don't want to say racist because not necessarily, but he's being incendiary at the very least, because that's absolutely not true. You cannot paint an entire race with one brush, because obviously he must know, if he has any white friends, that not everybody is the exact same.
I think
Okay?
he's speaking through his hypothetical white friends to say his opinion here.
Correctly, you said hypothetical.
Yeah. There are some blacks who are friends with the whites, and that's because the blacks are successful, own businesses, and are well educated just like them. So that's how you get your pass, really.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but
But you did this earlier. You not you personally, but you said
No.
like, when they asked who's your father.
right.
Yeah.
No,
It's the same
100%. 100% it gets to that level, but honestly, these days it's changing. It's
Right.
been changing quite rapidly. Like obviously, you went to St. Gabriel's. You look at St. Gabriel's now. They do have some white kids there, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Like there's so many more mixed kids coming up than when I was coming up.
Right.
No, it's like a crazy.
Just like how it works.
Huh?
Nothing.
just like how it works. More Muggles and Mudbloods.
Yeah, it's true.
I have one more post that was out, and I think this is one that I think we could touch on for a bit. So it came from somebody that is the owner of a local restaurant. And when I
Oh
say the
my
name
God.
of the restaurant. But this was basically about the whole about buying black, and this is what she had to say. I only cry racism now because everyone else does. This is a white woman, by the way.
I know exactly who you're talking
Right. You know her personally, or you just know the name?
I mean,
Oh, shit.
Man, they had lunch a couple times.
I only cry racism now because everyone else does. It is so easily used now, especially by blacks, as whites are scared to say it. Every man has to find his way, black, purple, or green. Blacks need to rise above their insecurities of being black and stop blaming their past and look to the future. Everyone can blame their past for not succeeding, but that is an easy excuse. As I said, we know about the evil of slavery, but that was 200 years ago. Why does this have to be played up? Why does this have to be played up so much that it brings feelings of hurt or hate? Then she says. Well, as a matter of fact, let me discuss that.
All right, but
I find that a lot of I hear that from a lot of white people that we focus on slavery too much, as if 200 years is like so far away, when it's not.
People think, right, like that 200 years was quite far as soon as slavery done. It was like, oh, I love you, fellow black man. Suddenly, like, nah,
Yeah.
we spent real years, furthermore, 150 or so years, just being equals.
Right.
I'm up now we do that properly.
Equals, right?
We haven't done it yet. We're still struggling to do that. But that's why I will always say that a lot of shit stems from ignorance. Because for her to have the audacity to type something like that, she cannot be aware that people are still struggling to see each other as equals today.
It's funny that you say that, because I see that as just pure racist. I see that comment as pure racism.
You do?
Because the way that she's justifying her point.
But now I saw for shite. So you gotta understand that I believe that everybody got a redeeming factor about them. So I'm in my mind feeling that as she realizes that, well, you know, people just ain't on that wave that you on.
That's a good topic, actually.
What do you mean?
The topic is, I don't see people having a path of redemption for white people that say things that are foolish. Now, do I think she should get a path of redemption? I don't know. But I'm saying in general.
Absolutely.
Her for that?
Absolutely. Anybody, dog. Like the same thing.
I feel like
that's
that's
about. Like
you
come
feel
on.
so. I feel this is Pokemon. Who are we? I don't know. I feel like anybody can learn from a mistake.
You see, I don't see that as. Again, I agree with you a little bit. It's
I feel, who am I?
no,
What's happening
it's
here?
ignorance on her part, because I like she went through the time actually, you know what? No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was racism. Because when you
I don't know who she is, right?
because this thing about social media, right? You always gotta think about the production. You gotta think about the mindset that she was in
Right.
when she was writing it.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why.
Which is to say that she must have retyped that like 4 or 5 times to make sure she put no niggas in there to make sure it was absolutely as not racist as possible.
You all feel so?
But then no, she had to. Do you ever made a post like that, B?
But it's
Saying that you
like
think it was
shite
controversial?
daily, though.
No. But something that you know is gonna be a little bit controversial. But you're not gonna just type it one time and send. You're gonna read it over.
Sorry, Rex.
You gonna read it over.
Right, I say shit almost bi-weekly in this chair that I just think back and be like, oh my
But
god.
you don't have the racial repercussions, B. Like you can talk about white people if you want to, and nobody's gonna come.
So
here
that's
and-
something that
and
white
cry
people,
anything against you.
I don't
But
want to
obviously,
target Josh.
She's
But have you ever?
She's a business owner in Barbados. Obviously, most of her clientele is white because it's on the West Coast. But like at the same time, like
I just want to
She
be. I
still
just
knows she's
want
in
to like
Barbados.
talk to my token white friend. I guess we're obviously. But have you ever like typed something? I had to think this might be racist.
of course, I know he has.
Yeah.
Of course he has.
That is well to me.
Yeah, I've had to do that as a black man. I've had to do that.
Not.
Sorry.
Listen,
sorry,
you
that's
also
right.
you gotta be mindful if it can be construed as.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it.
That's what you gotta be
Speak, White King.
No, is that as you as someone that is educated and you live in this generation and you are amongst more educated black people and you're aware of what's going on, or is that a case of you white be? So I'm wondering, though, is it like she's been white for the past couple of years, I assume. So,
at least
it-
50 cents.
Right. So that's important. So is it a case now where she's just being white and talking? She never had to think about what she's saying. She is just white and talking. So she is white and talking on social media. I do not think that.
Listen to me, when it comes to race, white people
let me
don't like
say
to
something.
dispute with each other.
I'm not defending her. I think that's important. I'm not defending her, but I like to try to understand someone's mentality. So I will.
100%.
I will try to understand myself, because I like to project myself on the people, so I try to understand myself saying bear cunt. And I know sometimes when they say bear cunt, it has come from a place that good. And normally my bear cunt would just be my good thing misunderstood. But I can only think as mean, it's very hard, I as much as I project myself onto her, I have never been a 50-something-year-old white woman.
So you still gotta be objective.
But that's exactly it. But you want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but like she knows exactly what she was doing in this time.
Yeah, you
she
can
she
tell,
could have said
yeah.
nothing. Like all the other white people out here.
She
could've said absolutely
She really gonna say that.
So do you think she was angry typing that? Like she
Yes.
was banging that.
Bro,
I-
Really?
She wrote that. She wrote that at least 4 times, B.
I think she.
And every time she was just like. No.
I
But
can't
that
imagine that.
isn't what she wasn't even finished here. She said millions of Jews were murdered, but they do not blame their past.
All
They do
lives
not.
matter.
Breeze,
But they
breeze,
do not-
breeze.
You ever talk about
I feel it
Holocaust?
wasn't
The
finished.
Holocaust with a
I feel-
Jew?
No.
I feel it wasn't finished.
No. This is same comment.
I know it is, but alright, don't worry, continue.
No, but she said millions of Jews were murdered, but they do not blame their past as they have got up and made something of themselves.
Because they
So
got
this-
a whole country, didn't they?
So this is what you should be pushing forth, not promoting hate of whites. Do you think that promoting? I'm just making
Oh
the
god,
point.
You see that shit right there? That's where the racism comes in. Because people are thinking that pro-black is anti-white. And that's the bullshit right there, B.
Right.
Because just because we said black lives matter right now don't mean white lives don't matter, B.
Right.
So she needs to take a seat.
I'm just making the point, Kofi, that like she
Several seats.
she write this, justify her point, bring up Jews, call in, put it in paragraphs. She thought this true. So like, even if you want to give somebody like the benefit of the doubt, I don't think in this case that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I just hate to think that.
But
people
again,
like this.
I do not. I still don't think that she is a racist. I think that what she thought of in that time and how she was feeling was a racist sentiment, and we all have had racist sentiments. Let's get something straight. We all have had them at some point or another, be it against blacks, as a black person, be it against whites, Indians, somebody. You've had something against somebody for some reason that had to do with the color of their skin.
No, not really, but go on.
Never?
Never in my life.
Marcus.
Never. Like you want to call him mayor, right?
Based on
You want to call him mayor,
Yeah.
right? You saw the 2 white boys that call him mayor getting extra attention from the black girls. You wasn't like, fuck these white boys.
It's more like you saw the
No,
white
it's not
boys.
the-
You
it's
saw
not
the
the
white
girls,
boys being racist again. People just bullying the white kids because they were white, and you never thought, man, I should help these white kids.
because it's wrong. Yeah.
But that's racism
That's
on the black person's part. B.
Wait, hold on.
Did you think that you should help the white kid?
Yeah.
Did you ever help the white kid?
No, because I was doing the same thing.
Well, my guy.
So then,
You just said you did the same thing. You were bullying the white kid because he was white.
No, I just bullying man because thing, but it wasn't because he was white.
it was because
You might not have intentionally done it, but if everybody bullying because his skin color, and you bullying with these people that bullying, you ain't bullying because his skin color.
No, nah. It wasn't for that. It wasn't for that. We was making sport on.
I was aware
but this is the fucked up thing here, no, B. Because you join in with racism does not mean that you're
Right,
exactly.
Thank you.
No, but it
Same
wasn't
thing that
a
you're-
Joanne situation though.
No, but it's
not?
exactly.
We
the
all
same.
roasting everybody. We all bullying everybody.
Well, bullying. I said bullying.
Yo, if somebody
everybody.
if somebody starts bullying somebody based on race and you join in, you are a racist, bro.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter if your mentality is in the wrong place. The action was happening in the end. As he said, ignorance of the crime is no excuse of
That's a crime.
the crime or whatever, criminal whatever. Well, had a little.
But it wasn't based off of race, is what I'm
But
saying.
no,
If
but
they
it doesn't
were doing
matter.
it,
But
that
the
wasn't why
point,
I
the point
was
is, it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't call him a cracker.
It doesn't matter, but that's how systemic racism starts, bro. That's exactly where it
Have
starts.
you ever stopped someone from saying you cracker?
Well, you don't say cracker.
What do you
No,
call-
like
what do you
back
call
they
it,
used to
bro?
call a cracker.
Yeah. Did
No,
they ever
They
stop?
called a cracker. But did you ever stop someone from calling a cracker?
You know,
Or did you say, ha, you
But
cracker?
not stopping
You know what I
somebody
call?
doesn't.
You know what I
wait,
call
hold on.
Bajan whites?
What?
Eclipse. Because that's Bajan for cracker.
So wait. This
Anyways.
when, if
I find
you
this guy.
don't, if somebody does something that is racist
Uh-huh.
and somebody else doesn't stop them, that makes them racist too.
You talking?
No. It's
you're-
not
you're-
doing something. It's not like it's just some arbitrary action. If you engage in a negative activity on purpose because other people are doing it based on race, then you're joining in the exact same motivation.
It depends on the action though. It depends on.
It does
motivation.
depend on the action.
Right.
No, but it doesn't depend on your motivation. It depends on the collective motivation. This is how systemic. This is how systemic racism starts. Because black people are blatantly racist against black people, and it's not their fault. It's because the system has, caused their minds to be entrenched in that mentality. And that's how I feel about it. You can.
Alright,
disagree.
okay,
You can
cool,
disagree.
cool,
You can
cool,
disagree.
I feel like if you know better, if you literally watching a white kid a kid get bullied because of his skin color, and you know better, and you are laughing along with those kids that are bullying that white kid, you are just as bad. It is equivalent to people that right now, white, seeing all this shit happen against black people and doing
Saying and
nothing. And the same whole. Let me talk. Cause you know you can say. I know you can say. Let me talk.
But I want to keep addressing that. But that is a good segue to the whole silence is complicity thing.
Are we segmenting? I don't think no one's saying segue.
This is
Right,
okay. We can still be on topic.
Right, cool.
If something bad is happening to somebody and I don't do anything to stop it, it depends though. It depends on the situation. I don't think that whole thing about silence is complicity, that's a good slogan. But if you really think about it, at the end of the day, I think it's pressuring people to have the same views. But really and truly, there's some things that are in that there's a gray area. That means that if I have silence on an issue because I reserve judgment and I'm waiting for more evidence, that means that I'm complicit in whatever is the action is. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true.
But how much time gotta pass?
That's the point. That is the point. How much?
No,
how
but
much
it
time
depends.
is
It
necessary?
depends on the situation. I mean,
Okay,
you
but
have-
but come on. And when it comes to racism in Barbados, how much time needs to pass, bro?
okay, let me give you
Like, come on, like, no, because we've had the Royal Yacht Club, and everybody knows
Yeah,
why they
shit's
got that
been
taken
happening,
away.
B.
Oh my God, take it back further than that. You had Grantley Adams. Grantley Adams married a white woman, and it's well known that Grantley Adams never stepped foot in Yacht Club, but he used to drop his wife there every Sunday.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
Yeah, I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know
Like-
that.
no, it is known.
Christ.
But like that's just how racist it was. Like obviously she's a white woman, like she can go to Yacht Club, whatever. But this is how long this is going on.
You heard the story about the Art Splash story,
Uh-huh.
right? About white Art Splash. They said Art Splash is racist or whatever. Remember that from like 2 years ago?
No,
There was a
how
story
could
about
it
that.
be?
You joking?
How could it be?
But see, this is the thing.
How could it be?
People thought that it was substantial evidence based on the person's story to say that the place was racist.
But who runs it?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Who runs it? It's all black people that run Art Splash.
Not PM Splash. You think of PM Splash?
Oh, Art Splash. Yo, big yourself, Shane.
So you remember we're talking about now the place
No,
don't hate
I hate
things?
things,
Okay.
Bro, I try not to listen to Bajan
Right,
news
it's
as much as
probably
possible.
Blakey's, it's
Okay, but
Blakey's? No,
it's
no.
opposite Blakey's.
No,
I
Art
got
Splash
farmers
was rolling.
market there, B.
Oh, Art Splash. I go there all the time. Oh my God. Eggs
I
Benny.
saw that coming.
What up?
Right, but
that's pretty.
what he's saying is when that came out from the story that the guy gave, a lot of people said that it is not substantial evidence to say that it was a racially motivated thing. So if somebody says that they don't agree or they're waiting for more evidence to come out, does that mean that they are like silent on the issue? Does that mean that they are at the end of the day?
Yeah, I don't think the whole complicity thing is weird to me. Like everybody wanna
Yeah, on this.
Jump on things.
Jump on
Yeah,
this
you
thing,
got you got to wait.
You know, I want cancel too. People,
Yeah.
People love
Don't-
that. I
no,
think
that-
it's
that
totally-
cancel
We
thing is the worst.
that counts as another egg in their own.
You
on
know,
its
I
own.
think
people just need to take time to just study the head, man.
Yeah.
A lot like that situation. It kind of murky. My friend is involved in it, right?
And Murky,
Can-
you
can I-
understand? You understand?
Can I bring one that more money?
The fact that you ain't sure. The fact that you ain't sure. I just making the point that some things some people ain't sure about. That's all. Before we close off though, I want we spoke and you said it before we came back that we spoke about white people, we spoke about black people, but we didn't really hear from what it's like to be mixed in Barbados. Yeah, from your childhood, but just overall. What are the takeaways you want people to know about being mixed in Barbados?
The number one thing, I guess, is mixed people are a product of integration and should be used as a tool for integration. Whereas you would always see mixed people as either white or black. And it's weird because you would have somebody that has the exact same mix that will hang out with black people and somebody with the exact same mix hanging out with white people, right? But in neither case are they fully accepted. And I'm not saying that they necessarily should be. It's just... No. Everybody's... No. You understand what I mean? People are different, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I'm mixed, you have to accept me as a black person. But you should not judge me just because I am mixed as only having
Okay.
value as one thing or another.
Okay.
For the most part, mixed people identify as being black in Barbados.
I think
Because
that's the real way, to be honest.
no, because
necessarily, but-
well, this is what's weird about it because a lot of white people are mixed too. So I have a friend. He grew up in Barbados, very entrenched in the white community, and he goes to school, south of the Mason-Dixon in America, and all of a sudden he's being called nigger for the first time in his life.
Right.
Imagine what that must be like.
Yeah.
Like imagine growing up as a Bajan white.
but he presents,
then
he
leave
presents-
Barbados.
He presents, like phenotypically, he
Right.
white, like
No, not for
So
anybody that's
smart.
not for anybody that's traveled the world,
okay.
Oh.
right? But
But he ain't straight.
his hair is straight curly. Like
Straight curly,
okay,
like
so
all-
okay for instance,
In
people-
between you and Josh?
people in between me and Josh,
Right, okay, I got you then. I got you.
but closer to Josh than to me.
Right.
Straight. Okay, go ahead.
But you see, there's levels to it,
I guess play.
right? So he goes there and he's being called nigga. So like obviously like that's just how.
good here.
Yeah. Let me see that hair. Come here. Somebody better come.
Let me check.
Nah, but like it's
Right.
just a weird thing to have to go through, and the hardest thing about being mixed is the entire identity crisis. And people joke about mixed people have like they don't. No, it's 100% fact. We do not have an identity because you cannot decide for me what I am, but at the same time humans need to categorize, right? And obviously like racism is one element of categorization.
Right.
Race. Is it racism? Or
Racism,
Yeah.
racism, 100%.
Right.
Like same thing with like being gay and all that kind of stuff, like LGBTQI whatever the hell. All that is the human need to categorize behavior and appearance based on categorization based on appearance.
Yeah,
and
I
behavior.
understand what you're
Right?
Right?
So when people look at me and tell me what I am, there's nothing more offensive.
Can I ask you a question?
There's nothing more offensive than that. If I tell you I identify as a black person, do not come out about here telling me why I'm Chinese, why I'm Indian, why I'm thing. When I talk to my white friends about racism, the number one thing they hit me with is you're not even black though. But I ain't white, bro. Like you don't treat me like a white person. So really and truly, if I ain't white and we in Barbados, the de facto reason is that I'm black. Because we're not turned out. We don't have a plural culture. We don't have Douglas out here. We like what? I'm clearly not Chinese. I'm clearly not fitting into any one category. So if I'm not accepted by you, and I'm not excited by then, like who am I supposed to be? And it is me trying to determine on my own who I am, and I've landed on being black because I went to Charles F. Broome. I grew up around more black people than anything. My parents grew up around more black people than anything. My parents identify as black as well, and they were generations above me. And obviously for that generation it was different because, you know, the funny thing about being mixed is whatever you're mixed with, whatever is less in the eyes of the world is what you are. So if you're mixed white and Chinese, you're Chinese. If you're mixed white and Indian, you're Indian. If you're mixed white and black, you're black. If you're mixed Chinese and black, you're black. If you're mixed Indian and black, you're black. Because whatever is determined to be the least is what, you know, the majority wants to see you as. And nobody is in the same category as me.
But we spend a lot of time that when it comes to categories is people identifying you as opposed to giving you a chance to identify yourself. That's what you're basically saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. But again, like I don't wrong people for trying to identify me as one thing or another. It is when I tell you specifically that I do not identify with the thing that you're identifying me with is when I have a problem. Because I call myself a black person, but do I identify with the black struggle? Not really. Right. Because really and truly, like if you asked me in Charles F. Broome and I was aware enough to answer that question, of course in Charles F. Broome I'm gonna tell you yes, because that's when my parents were broke when we came from Jamaica. You know, like we didn't have no money when we came here. Like I was living a broke people life. Like our housing was paid for because my mom was in the hospital. Like we weren't paying rent, and we lived a meager life. And then to if you ask me at QC, after my mom's an established doctor, my dad has got several promotions, and my mom all of a sudden starts running, like obviously my perspective is going to be different. Right. Because my socioeconomic class has now allowed me to elevate to a certain level where I have more in common with the bougie people at QC. Because let's get it straight, most of the people at QC were actually very bougie. Because when you look at history, white girls were allowed to go to QC, but they weren't allowed to go to any other school. And like en masse right. Is what I mean. Right. Because you look at HC maybe had like 2 or 3 white people, you know, maybe like 5 white people in a year, and maybe 1 was a white girl, or best case scenario 2, right? And that was not in every year either. But obviously a lot of QC was a girls' school. A lot of white women went to QC. They said it was okay for their white children to go to QC. So QC had more white people than any other school except for St. Michael's, right? So like obviously like the white people were allowed to be cliquey. So they had you know, a group unto themselves. The black people had the entire group, and as a mixed person, it was just weird being in between. Yeah. Because nobody wanted to tell me, you know, nobody wanted to accept me for anything.
Barbados got
but then
white boys school.
Yeah, many.
Dolphins.
What?
You've never heard about Dolphins Academy? I don't even think it still exists, to be honest.
Isn't Dolphins still there? Is that oh, well, that's primary school. So Cyprian's not a white boy school. Real white boys went there.
Wills is not a...
But
they got white schools though.
I meant secondary school for like white boys. Cause I know I got convent. They got QC is kind of a white girl school. Right. Where do white boys go?
Lodge.
I remember Dalton's.
It
was so no. The accepted white people schools in Barbados are Harrison College if you're smart, QC, St. Michael's, Conmere if you really had to play sports. If you really had to play sports, you go to Conmere, Dighton, and for some reason Leicester Vaughan and Lodge. I said Lodge already, and Lodge. And those are the only schools that really had any significant amount. Alexandra has some for sure. I don't know why, but obviously like West Coast people or whatever.
Fair enough.
And I mean like Alma Parish is open to all of certain disabilities.
Jesus Lord. With that being said, thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming through. I think that your experience is very unique, and I don't know any other guests that we can bring on that can speak about anything close to the things that you have went through. Mm-hmm. And I really thank you for sharing that, because it gave me a new outlook, and bringing on white people like Josh and Ting and Matthew and Ting, it has value, but also hearing from you too has a lot of value too. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate you coming on. Yeah.
I feel like I have more to say.
I know you do.
Follow me on Twitter at WRXKSSSS, and you will see a whole barrel full of cunt.
I love the plug.
Yeah, be big at yourself, Rex.
Nah, don't follow me.
Love the retweets.
And I think that's it. That's
Yeah.
it, dog. Yeah, I know podcast. Till next time, we out.
Thanks for watching the I Know podcast, information, knowledge, observation. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you soon.